Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter podcast, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and England's adopted son, Joe Habib. We have a great show for you today, and guess what? You guys can call in today. How about that? If you want to call and ask questions, you can call right now at 323-870-3857. We'll be here till about 9 o'clock tonight. Today, we're going to talk about Anthony Joshua makes an offer to fight Deontay Wilder. Is it a good offer? Will Wilder take it? Beeb has got a great I guess, part on this. So he's gonna let us know. He's gonna impart his knowledge, so to say. Triple G wants to fight May 5th, but it's turning into a tall order. We'll give you the details. But first, we get started with ESPN2. Francisco Vargas against Beeb's boy, Rod Salka.
Yeah.
Rod Salka has got to become a footnote after getting, waxed by Danny Garcia. But he was back, and he's back against Vargas. Salka entered the ring wearing red, white, and blue trunks that had a wall on them. He had the words America First written across the belt line. And yes, he was fighting a Mexican. In case you were wondering, probably not the best idea, Francisco Vargas laid out a beating to Rod Salka for 6 rounds, knocking Salka down in the 5th, making him stay on the stool after the 6th. Salka's corner had determined he had had enough. There are things that don't really belong in boxing, and quite honestly, this was one of them. Him wearing that into the ring, I don't mind saying Rod Salka had this coming to him. Beeb, you saw over the weekend, I don't know if you saw it or not, this was tagged all over social media, all over the news, all over Yahoo. And what were your thoughts when you learned that Rod Salka was wearing the red, white, and blue, the brick trunks and the America First on there, fighting a guy like Francisco Vargas?
No disrespectful. I don't think there was any need to do that. But it's almost like when Floyd Mayweather wore the sombrero in the ring against Oscar De La Hoya, and he's done it against other Mexican opponents too, and even Roger Mayweather should do that. But given the climate right now, the political climate that we're in, how divisive we are and how polarized we are as a nation right now, it's probably not the best thing to do at this particular time. And I'm not trying to sound like a social justice warrior, but I think it was a little insensitive, to be quite honest with you.
Absolutely.
To say the least.
Yeah, I thought it was very insensitive, and it just not. I mean, what are you doing? You idiot. Yeah. Why would you do that? The climate, how people think that's offensive and everything like that, and you just, let's just throw, gasoline on the fire. Robert, what were your thoughts when you learned about this?
I was quite shocked when I seen him come out to the ring, and I'm like, wow, what a statement, But look, I told both of you guys earlier, and I'll say it here publicly so everybody can hear. We seen Rod Salka on our TV on Thursday. I promise you, we will never see him again after this. I mean, not because of what he wore. He offered up absolutely no resistance. And I've got to ask Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, did Francisco Vargas need this kind of a tune-up fight to prepare himself for a possible Miguel Perchelt rematch? I couldn't believe De La Hoya after the fight. Oh, yeah, Francisco's back. He's ready, and we're going to do whatever we can to get him in a big fight. Really? If you felt like your fighter needed a comeback fight, couldn't you have found anybody better than Rod Lightning Salka? Because he offered absolutely nothing. And I'm serious when I say this. I don't think we'll ever see Rod Saga in the boxing ring on TV ever again.
You said that after the Danny Garcia fight. Stop.
Salka's a legend.
After his pathetic performance against Danny Garcia, his next time on TV, he looks even worse against Francisco Vargas. This was a waste of television space.
Oh, you're so harsh, Robert. I mean, I took a couple of shots at him, but I mean, you're just sitting there piling on. It's horrible.
He'll be back. He'll be back again against Andre Berto.
Yeah, let me tell you what.
Against Andre Berto. Watch.
And let me tell you what. I don't think it's fair. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's fair to bash Oscar De La Hoya for this whole thing because he's got his own problems that we'll go over a little bit later. But somebody's been spending a little bit too much time in the kitchen, it sounds like.
Oh, my God.
Oh, did I say that out loud? PBC on FS1. The fight that I don't think anybody watched. Maybe it was a good one. I don't know. Jamal James versus Abel Ramos.
Yeah, I watched it. No, it wasn't.
Oh, wow. Jamal James won a majority decision over Abel Ramos by the scores of 95-95 and 96-94 twice. This is what everybody complains about with Al Heyman. But, I got to be honest. If you had to watch Jamal James versus Abel Ramos or Vargas versus Salka, I don't know. I just shut the TV off. I think that's what we all did this weekend. Edner Cherry versus Dennis Galarza. Edner Cherry won a unanimous decision over Dennis Galarza by the scores of 97-93 and 96-94 twice. Wow. That was
no, this was a horrible weekend for fights. I mean, and I am going to climb all over De La Hoya for putting in a guy like Salka. But see, and I am going to climb all over the PBC for scheduling these fights. And I want to know what organization has got Jamal James ranked 4th in their 147-pound rankings. He hasn't done anything to get himself ranked that high in any organization. He might be a decent fighter someday, but he ain't there yet. I swear to God, any of the champions would tear him apart at 147.
To be fair, just to be fair about it, Al Heyman has put on, PBC has put on a lot of good fights this year. They have a lot of money in the bank this year so I think we can get past Jamal James and Abel Ramos. I think I will.
Yeah. They got off to a good start this year, no question. I agree.
They've done well. So
look, if you were asking me about their performance overall, they've done very well. But Friday the 13th wasn't one of them.
Wow, Robert, coming down harsh. Harsh, Robert, harsh.
Well,
I know what to say. I wasn't able to talk last week.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't too much worse than the Golden Boy card. I'll tell you that.
All right, and that was pretty much it for the fights this weekend. At least the fights we're going to talk about anyway. Now let's talk about the upcoming fights on April 19th. Is that a Friday, Robert? Thursday, right?
April 19th is a Thursday, ESPN2, I believe.
I did not have my Savant last week either, and I stumbled badly.
I did good with you. I helped you out.
That's true. Beeb was here. Beeb was holding the ball, giving the dish.
Thank you, Blog Talk, for screwing up. That's all I can say.
Oh, come on. They're just trying to make $1 like anybody else, Rob. Come on.
Little glitch, Robbie. That's all. Please.
I'm back in bed with Blog Talk. It's all good. We've made nice. And
if they want to make a proper dollar, they better make sure their equipment works properly at all times.
Come on. Nobody piles on Blog Talk on this show. Come on now.
Come on. All right, go ahead, Eric.
ESPN2. Lamont Roach versus Orlando Cruz, 10 rounds junior lightweights. Jose Lopez versus Miguel Gonzalez, 10 rounds lightweights. Who's putting on this card? Is this a Golden Boy card again?
Golden Boy, yes.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He really has nobody over there.
Special.
Yeah, this is an Oscar special, man. Wow. All right. Friday on BN Sports at Las Vegas, Max Ornelas versus Tony Lopez, 8 rounds bantamweights. And then we move into the big stuff. Saturday, April 21st at Liverpool, England on ESPN Plus. What is ESPN Plus, by the way?
I've never heard of it.
Okay, Eric, that is their brand new app that everybody has to pay $4.99 a month for. Right now, if you put it in your phone, you get a 30-day free trial. They're going to show a lot of overseas fights. Every fight that's on ESPN or ESPN2 will be streamed on that app. It's a brand new app that they just put out. They're going to show a lot of exclusive fights that they're not going to put on TV.
Right. So paying my DirecTV bill, that's not enough. No, that's not enough.
No, apparently not.
No,
we have to pay. Apparently, we got to pay $5 more if we want to see this stuff.
Satellite bills, the cable bills, you're not paying enough. We got to, get out of here.
No.
Get out of here with that. Amir Khan versus Phil Lo-Greco will be on ESPN Plus, or you can stream it probably live on Twitter. Amir Khan versus Phil Lo-Greco, 12 rounds welterweights. San Dodd versus Tommy Coyle, 12 rounds for Dodd's Commonwealth lightweight title. Anthony Fowler on the card as a junior middleweight, 8 rounds against the dreaded TBA. Conor Benn versus Chris Truman, 6 rounds welterweights. Let's see if there's anybody else we recognize on there. Bilal Raymond, Ryan Mulcahy is on there. That's about it. Now
I can tell you, Eric, the Amir Khan fight will be at the Barclays, so it's going to be at the same place where the Showtime card's going to be.
Amir Khan's in England, Liverpool. You talking about the Broner?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Broner, okay. So
that's what they said this morning when they did the fight from Japan. They said the Amir Khan fight would be at Barclays.
Somebody better tell Wingy because I think he's set to go. So I don't know. I've got it listed at Liverpool. So.
All right.
And Wingy's going to be heartbroken. Unless he gets to come to New York, of course.
Okay.
All right. In New York, Showtime. Adrien Broner, Cincinnati's finest, versus Jesse Vargas, 12 rounds, welterweights. I believe this fight is taking place at a catchweight. I'm not 100%, but I believe.
It is 144.
Eric. 144.
144.
You know why? Because he can't make 140, and he's not good at 147. On the undercard there, Jermall Charlo versus Hugo Centeno, 12 rounds for the vacant WBC interim middleweight title. Gervonta Davis versus Jesus Cuellar, 12 rounds for the vacant WBA regular junior lightweight title. Cincinnati's own Rashee Warren facing the dreaded TBA, 10 rounds bantamweights, also on the undercard. Gary Antoine Russell versus TBA, 6 rounds junior welterweights. Not surprising that he's actually on that card. I would figure he'd be on the card for Baltimore in a couple of weeks.
You mean on May 19th? Yeah.
Yeah. Desmond Jarman versus Kendrick Lachman, 4 rounds junior lightweights. I like Desmond Jarman a lot. Very good fighter, very good up-and-coming fighter. So very interested in that fight. We'll come back to these in a minute. Carl Frampton versus Nonito Donaire is at Belfast, Northern Ireland. This will be on Showtime, Facebook, and YouTube. Carl Frampton versus Nonito Donaire, 12 rounds for the vacant WBO interim featherweight title. Zolani Teti versus Omar Navarez for Teti's WBO bantamweight title. And let's see what else we got here. Jorge Paez Jr. This will be on BN Sports on that same night. Ramon Alvarez versus Jorge Paez Jr., 10 rounds, junior middleweights. That's Canelo's brother, isn't it? Isn't that Ramon Alvarez, Canelo's brother? I know that's Jorge Paez.
Yeah, he could be one of his brothers. He's got 6.
Yeah, a lot of Alvarez's. All right, let's see what else.
I wonder if they had plenty of clenbuterol.
Oh, stop it! Stop it! What's the matter with you?
Taking shots now, please.
Oh, come on.
He's got the dirty pee-pee.
Come on, Robert. Come on, man. Stop hitting the buttons, man. Seriously, that's not cool. Come on, man. That's not cool, dude. No, that's not cool. That guy claims he's innocent, and I'm sure his brother had nothing to do with it, so just lay off. All right, let's talk about the Amir Khan.
April 18th, we'll find out how innocent he was.
Oh, stop.
Anyway.
Amir Khan versus Phil Lo-Greco. That's going to be in Liverpool, from what I gather. Robert says New York, but I think it's in Liverpool. It doesn't.
It's in Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It doesn't matter where it's at, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm really anxious to see what Amir Khan has after this long layoff. It's been a while since he's been in there. Yeah, how long has it been?
Yeah,
over almost 2 years.
Ever since he got KO'd by Canelo, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. So it'll be interesting to see how much, he should beat LaGreco. I don't think there's any question. He should beat LaGreco. But
yeah, he should.
Yeah, I mean, you're out 2 years, man. That's not a gimme fight right there. That's he's gonna have to work for that one. Just depending how he looks and everything like that. He didn't look good in his last couple outings prior to that 2-year layoff. So I don't know. All right, let's talk about the big fights. Let's talk about the one that everybody wants to see. Cincinnati's own Adrien Broner, Jesse Vargas. I'll tell you what, I can't see a scenario where Adrien Broner loses this fight. I mean, just being from Cincinnati, knowing that he's training hard, he's getting his life together. I mean, I think this time he's serious about it. That's the thing. I think he's serious about it this time. And, hey, I'm picking Adrien Broner by decision. Beeb?
No.
You're picking him by knockout. That's awesome.
I'm picking Jesse Vargas possibly by knockout late.
What?
I think
know that he's from Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'm sorry. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Adrien Broner's fooled us about 15 times.
Changed man.
Yeah, he's got more faces than Sybil, I guess, right?
More train wrecks in the history of this show than anybody else.
Molehills.
So this is the thing. We're waiting for this new and improved version of Broner, but what we see is what we get right now. This is who Adrien Broner is. I don't think he's gonna all of a sudden turn into a volume puncher. I don't think he's all of a sudden gonna be fast on his feet. I don't think all of a sudden he's gonna move. I don't think all of a sudden his defense is gonna get better. I don't think all of a sudden at the higher weights he's gonna be a harder puncher. I just don't see him to be effective. If he's struggling with Paulie Malignaggi, with all due respect, at 147, I know this fight's a 144. The fight with Sean Porter, I think, was a catch weight of 144 too, or I think 143 or 144. I just think that he's proven that he cannot beat these top level guys, and I think Jesse Vargas, you may argue he's not a top level guy, but he's pretty close to it. I think he held his own against Timothy Bradley. I think, even though he lost against Pacquiao, he looked like he belonged in there. But Jesse Vargas is a very, very well-rounded fighter. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. He can box. He can punch. And I did not think he could beat Saddam Ali, and we saw how good Saddam Ali did against Miguel Cotto. So that just makes that victory over Saddam Ali by Jesse Vargas even that much more credible. And looking at Adrien Broner right now, he has not gotten any better in his fights. Struggled with Adrian Granados. Arguably could have lost that fight as well.
He probably should have lost.
Yeah, very, very good argument against him, for him losing that fight. I thought against Mikey Garcia, against a supposedly smaller guy, I thought he got outboxed thoroughly. And I think Jesse Vargas, not great in any area, but very good in just about every area. I mean, he can do it all. He can box, he can punch. He goes to the body very well. He's a busy fighter. He's fast, and he's a great finisher. Once he hurts you, he can get you out of there. So I think Jesse Vargas will, get inside in this fight. He can beat Adrien Broner from the outside, or he can beat him from the inside. Because Jesse Vargas got a really good jab, really got a good right hand over the top. But I think his claim to fame is being a grinder on the inside. That fight with Josecito Lopez was a very close competitive fight. I thought Vargas eked it out, but a lot of people thought Lopez won that fight. But he went to war in that fight. I think Vargas will put up a very fast-paced fight. I don't think he'll give Adrien Broner any room to breathe, and I think he'll wear Adrien Broner down. I think he'll outwork him. I think this is the first time that Broner's probably going to get stopped. I think Vargas is going to go for the kill. I think Vargas is going to definitely dig to the body in this fight. He's going to really, really try to break Adrien Broner down right from the opening bell. And I think that the busier, I think the faster, I think the stronger Jesse Vargas will take over in this fight, and I think he's going to get the stoppage late. I'm going with Vargas by 10th round stoppage here.
Wow. Beeb going out on a limb.
Yeah.
Taking the underdog in this fight.
Vargas is a big kid, too. He's a big kid.
Who, Vargas?
Yeah, he's like 5'10".
Yeah. It's no gimme. I tell you what, it's no gimme for
He's
either one of these guys. But yeah, I mean, he's strong. He's aggressive.
Strong, powerful, fast, very well-rounded.
Tough night. It's going to be a tough night for Broner.
He's not gonna give Broner the luxury of sitting back and pot-shotting.
It's going to be another Granados fight. It's going to be, but he's bigger than Granados. You know what I mean?
He's bigger and he hits harder, and he's faster than Granados. And, and he's going to go to the body with conviction. That's the problem.
Robert, what do you think?
Eric, Adrien is going to have a real problem because I see no scenario where he can win this fight.
How dare you?
Jesse Vargas is too big, too strong, too fast. He might get him out of there earlier than the 10th round. I think this is going to be a decisive victory for the one and only Jesse Vargas.
Oh, he has no shot?
Nope. Although I'll give Adrien Broner one piece of credit. He's got Kevin Cunningham in his corner now instead of Mike Stafford. So we'll see if a new trainer actually brings out something new in Adrien Broner. I doubt it, but when Kevin Cunningham normally runs a corner, it's normally pretty well done. So we'll see if he gets proper instructions throughout the fight. I've thought in the past Adrien Broner has ran his own corners and hasn't listened to people. So we'll see if having a new trainer in his corner will actually help things. But no, I think Jesse Vargas wins this fight, and I think it's going to be easier than what Beeb had to say.
Well, thank you two. You're both wrong. I think Adrien Broner still wins this, and that's it. That's what I think. I think Broner wins this, and I think he wins it handily. Jamal Charlo versus Hugo Centeno. I don't think this. I mean, I think Jamal Charlo gets rid of him in 6 rounds. I don't think this is. Everybody's saying this is going to be a good fight. This is going to.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Centeno
gets hit way too much.
He gets murked in here.
This is not going to be a good fight. This is going to be a walkover.
Yeah. So, do you guys think that Gervonta Davis, he's fighting Jesus Cuellar? Do you think that Davis takes a dive here so he doesn't have to fight Lomachenko?
I mean,
well, first of all, let's talk about that. I couldn't believe what I heard of Floyd Mayweather coming out and saying, "Oh well, once Davis wins this fight, I've already talked to Top Rank, and he'll be fighting Lomachenko next." I mean, really? Are you really?
This ain't an easy fight. This ain't an easy fight for him.
You don't think?
No, this is a tough fight. This is a tough fight.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
it's a tough fight.
Cuellar. Yeah, I think.
Cuellar is tough.
So is Davis.
Yeah, he is.
Davis.
Oh, no question. I
can't believe that Floyd is already writing this down as a victory. I mean, he may well win the fight, but talking about disrespecting the opponent, I mean, Cuellar, every time he fights, he's in a good fight.
Georgie in the chat, and then Joel Diaz in the chat says, Georgie asked for a pie bet for Vargas and Broner. I said, absolutely no way.
You can't have a bet on Broner.
Absolutely 100% no.
No, you can't bet on him, Broner, because Broner never comes through.
Georgie said the commission should take Eric's belts. That's right. Somebody's saying Eric Ross in the chat says Cuellar is a plus 400 underdog. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way he's getting by Davis. I don't care how tough he is.
No, Eric, I think Davis will win, but I don't think it's going to be a walkover like Floyd Mayweather is making it.
I think it's a tough. I honestly think it's a tough fight. I think Cuellar is a strong kid. He can hit too.
All right. And that's the fights next week. A lot of fights next week.
Yeah, unlike this week.
And we'll be covering all of them. Yeah, they're going to make up for it next week. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And, we'll definitely be covering all of them. So, Beeb, I'm going to give you a choice here because we're going into our news and rumors segment because there wasn't a whole lot of fights going on.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to the Oscar De La Hoya train wreck of the week first, or should we talk about Anthony Joshua making Deontay Wilder an offer? Doesn't matter to me. I could do either. They're both good.
I'd rather get that Oscar De La Hoya thing out of the way so I don't have to talk about it. I don't even really want to talk about Oscar. I'd rather get it out of the way.
How dare you?
Because I want to spend some quality time on the
that's not quality time. That's not a quality story.
Not for me, man. It makes me sick. This guy is horrible.
It's a big world out there. You need to broaden your horizons.
I know.
All right.
Let's get Brianna to do the train wreck of the week.
Bring her in.
Brianna, train wreck time. Go ahead, do it.
Chugga.
Come on.
Good job.
All right.
There you go.
So much better when she does it than when Beeb does it. When Beeb does it, it's just awful. It's just awful. It sounds like two chickens fighting. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Just makes me ill thinking about it. Train wreck of the week. This could be, quite honestly, train wreck of the year. Oscar De La Hoya at it again. First reported by the Daily Mail, Oscar De La Hoya is at the center of a $2 million extortion case over a sex tape. Apparently, two women recorded themselves and Oscar, then tried to market the tape. They took the tape to Kevin Blatt, who is a celebrity sex tape broker. I didn't even know this was a job title. How does somebody get that job? You know? Blatt claims to have seen the video, and it is indeed Oscar De La Hoya on the video. At one point, the girl's got his driver's license on video, so that's how you know it was definitely him. But that's also how Blatt knew that this was a setup, and he refused to buy the video. He knew it was an extortion video at that point. Seems like an average sex video story, right? Well, Kevin Blatt saw the video and says it shows De La Hoya in some real embarrassing situations. Blatt told the Daily Mail, I've seen a lot of shocking videos in my time, and this one was incredibly embarrassing. But it was clear to me that Oscar had been set up. One of the scenes in the video, the women are seen performing sex acts on him with kitchen utensils.
Oh, my God.
Yes, that is true. That is very true. Robert, you're a connoisseur of celebrity sex tapes. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No. Number one, like you, I didn't realize that somebody actually got a job out of this. I wonder if Hulk Hogan took the tape that he sued the company over a few years ago and won and put the company out of business. I wonder if he consulted with this guy first. This is absolutely pathetic. Oscar, you got to run a company. Keep your stuff in your private life out of the media, for Christ's sakes. Jesus Christ.
Kitchen utensils. That's what I'm saying. Kitchen utensils. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the chat said it best. Maybe you shouldn't eat over De La Hoya's. I don't know.
Was there actually a tape out there? Like, did people actually? Was anyone able to see the actual tape?
Well,
was it put out there? Was it put out there on the internet?
I don't believe so. The FBI is working with these two Instagram models. By the way, what exactly is an Instagram model? I don't understand. Can't anybody be an Instagram model?
Yeah, you can, really.
Right? I mean, it was two Instagram models.
What, do these women set up an Instagram page and take their own pictures?
That's what they usually do. They take selfies.
Yeah, they just take selfies of themselves. That's the deal. So these two Instagram models are trying to shake him down, I guess, for like, I think $2 million. Yeah, $2 million. $2 million. Shake him down. Yeah. And so they also went to Oscar De La Hoya's ex-wife, Shayna Moakler. Oscar De La Hoya is like a 19-year-old daughter at home. Can you imagine just for a minute, like having your daughter know about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, wow. My God.
And now the grandparents, everybody knows. It's all out in the open.
Does Robbie have the tape?
Robert, do you have the tape?
Hell no, I don't have no tape.
Are you working on getting it?
No. Good God.
Does Jason have the tape?
Stuff.
What's that?
Jason have the tape?
Oh, Jason's probably got the tape. Jason,
Jason's
in the
got
chat,
the
do
tape.
you have the tape?
Oh well, he'd probably give it to Al Heyman, and Al Heyman would pay him handsomely for it. You know.
Hey, he's got the connections with Al Heyman. What can you say?
There you go.
There it is. De La Hoya in trouble again. Apparently, he was messed up in the video. I don't know if he was. I know it sounded like they were drinking. I don't know if there were any drugs involved, but he did seem under the influence. So,
oh my.
Go figure that one out. Yeah, who would have thought that? You know, but as a celebrity, doesn't. I mean, I don't know, but it sounded like maybe they were filming him, but he knew he was on camera because one of the scenes said that he looked like he knew he was on camera. They were like acting out a thing. So he knew he was on camera, you know? So I don't get it. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, man. I really don't, man.
This explains the whole Canelo thing. You've got his own promoter messed up on stuff. So, you know, there you go.
Yeah. How about that? I mean, think about that for a minute. I mean, would it be, speak to this for a minute. If you're Canelo Alvarez, what do you think right now?
Well, first of all, I believe he got knee surgery, and then Golden Boy, through their spokespeople, are saying that it was a cosmetic surgery, and Canelo is saying it's a real surgery. So, you know, Oscar just seems like he's lost all the time. Like, how do you let all those fighters that you were supposedly promoting slip through your fingers and not know that you didn't have them under contract? Like, it's quite obvious that he's just not fit to be the CEO of a company. You know, he's got too many demons, all right? And he really needs to step away and heal himself, because I think eventually he's gonna run his business into the ground. I just don't think he's qualified, or he's just not in the right state of mind to run his company right now. I just don't understand this guy. He just continuously gets involved in the same problems. He's not a kid anymore. It's not like he's a college person, you know, going to frat parties and doing stupid things. He's an adult now. You know, he should be past this. He has children. Yeah, I don't know. Is he married now, or is he divorced? Did he ever get remarried after the Cochler woman? I don't know.
Yeah, he got married to that Millie Cojete or whatever, that singer.
Singer.
Is she still with him?
I think they're still married, but they split up.
Okay, they're separated. I mean, he you know, his personal life isn't doing very well because of all these extracurricular activities. So I just think that there's just something wrong with the guy. It's quite obvious. You can see him during interviews. Yeah, you can see him during interviews. Like he has this, you know, a lot of the mannerisms of someone that has a drug problem. You can see him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look like this.
You got to look back, Eric, on this whole situation and wonder: did Richard Schaefer really try to rip him off, or was Oscar just totally messed up and allowed that situation? Because I know everybody blamed Richard Schaefer for what happened with all those fighters. Well, now that this story's come out, how much blame do you put on Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer now for what occurred back then?
Well, you know, and you remember Heidi Fleiss, and they would always talk about that their clients, like, she would have people would come to her, like the high end Hollywood people would come to her because they knew it was safe. You know what I mean? They knew it was safe. They knew their name wasn't going to get out there. No pictures were going to be taken. None of that was going to happen. You know, why not? I mean, I don't understand. Like, if he wants to do this stuff, why not like have one of those girls come over? You know what I mean? And if you want to do all this, that's great. But you know you're safe. You know those pictures aren't going to get out. They're not going to take any pictures. You know what I mean? Why not do that? Why put yourself? Why risk this? Or is this part of the kick? I don't know. Anyway?
Yeah,
but
I'm speechless.
It kind of makes you think now about the whole thing. You know?
Right. I mean, again, man, like I said, if you know, why put yourself in these positions? And if you're going to do this kind of, if you're going to like behave this way, you know, why not at least take precautions so that this doesn't leak out? You know, I don't know. Just crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. That could be train wreck of the year for sure. All right, let's get into it. Anthony Joshua makes an offer to Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua's team offered Deontay Wilder a flat fee of $12.5 million for this fight. This would be Wilder's largest payday to date, his highest $2.1 million, and that was against Louis Ortiz. Wilder hasn't given an answer yet, but is this a fair offer? I don't know. I don't know if this is a fair offer or not. If they're saying, here, take the $12 million, don't worry about anything else, that might be a different story. How much is the, how much is it worth? I don't know. How much is the fight worth? I don't know. 12 million is a high number. Don't get me wrong. 12 million seems like a high enough number, but is it 40%? Is it 35%? I don't know. Joshua could make up to 50 million here. It's not, it's 25% of that. So, Beeb, give me your thoughts on this.
I have to respectfully disagree with you about Joshua making 50 million here. Let's just look at the empirical data we have. The Klitschko fight with Joshua did 53 million. Both fighters got 15 million apiece guaranteed. So they split 30 million. The Parker fight, I believe, was a $35 million fight. And Joshua got 18 million in that fight. And I believe Parker got 7 million. So this is the thing. Because a fight generates 55 million, 60 million, the fighters don't split that entire revenue amongst themselves or between themselves. Other people have to get paid. The networks have to get paid. The promoters have to get paid. Case in point, the $53 million fight, with Joshua and Klitschko, they split 30 million. So you take 23 million off the top, right? So I'm guessing, honestly, I think Wilder isn't bigger than Klitschko. Would you say Wilder is more popular than Klitschko was?
No.
Would anyone say that?
Oh, I don't.
He's probably right now. I don't think he's as popular as Klitschko. Klitschko
was more of a name just because he dominated for 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just be fair here. Okay. So if I think the fight can do maybe 55 million tops. I don't see it really doing 60 million. I don't think it goes anywhere near 100 million. So if the fight does 55 million, right? Okay, you're going to have to take 25 off the top of that, right? So there's 30 left, right? So you have 30 million left, right? You times that by 40%. That's about 12 million, guys. That's about 12 million. I mean, that it is what it is. And if he wants back end money, okay, all the back end money is going to be generated by Anthony Joshua because it's not going to be a pay-per-view fight in the United States. It's not. Okay, Showtime's going to televise it, but it's not going to be a pay-per-view fight. So should Deontay Wilder get any of that UK pay-per-view money when he hasn't built that market? Anthony Joshua has built that market. Okay, he's built that market. So Wilder doesn't deserve any of that. Now, I don't know. Could they sweeten the deal maybe to 14 million, 15 million? Possibly. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like 12.5 million is not a horrible offer. It's kind of in line with what this fight is worth, in my opinion. I don't see this fight. I don't think it. I think it's about right around what the Klitschko fight is. I think in terms of revenue, and I don't think Klitschko or Parker got any of the back end UK money either. I'm sure Parker got some New Zealand TV deal money. I'm sure Klitschko got some Eastern European TV money. But they talked about Showtime getting involved in the negotiations. And I know if you guys remember Les Moonves, the guy that runs CBS, who owns Showtime, he got involved in the Mayweather-Pacquiao negotiations. He was really pushing hard to make sure that fight got done. So if Showtime is serious about trying to help this fight get done, Why don't they put some money up and get it for Deontay Wilder? Why don't they make it worth his while? This is the thing, guys. Eddie Hearn is putting up just about all the money here. Okay? He's putting up all the money. So what gives anyone the right to tell Eddie Hearn, who's not affiliated with Eddie Hearn, why should an outsider tell Eddie Hearn, how much to pay? If they like Wilder is not promoted by Eddie Hearn. So what gives him the right? Like Wilder's team, okay? Lou DiBella is his promoter. How much? He promoted his last couple fights. He's not his official promoter. So how much money can Lou DiBella, bring to the table? How much money can Al Heyman bring to the table? How much money can Shelly Finkel bring to the table? Eddie Hearn is putting up all the money. He's taking all the risk here. So why should he not have a control over how this money is going to be divvied up? That would be like me going into business with you, Eric, saying, hey, you know what? Let's be partners. I'm going to put up all the money, okay? And I need you because of your skill set. You bring a skill set that can be very valuable to the company, okay? But I'm putting all my money up. And then you say, Beeb, okay, well, since you're putting all your money up, I want 40%. You're not in the position to dictate to me how much I pay you because you didn't put any money in the pot. That would be like me, you, Jason, and Robbie having a dinner having like a party and all having dinner together. I put money in, you put money in, Robbie puts money in, Jason puts no money in. He comes to the house and says, hey guys, here, I'm taking all this. Here, you can have that. Fuck you. You didn't put any money in. You give what we you take what we give you. So if you're not putting any money in the pot, then how could you tell how can you have any control over what you're being paid? You see what I'm saying? So $12.5 million is not a horrible deal. It's not. And this fight is not a $100 million fight. It's not an $80 million fight. It's at best, in my opinion, a $55 million fight. And that doesn't mean that they split $55 million. Other people have to get paid. You take that off the top, there's about $30 million left. Okay?
Maybe.
It's about $30 million left. Maybe. Okay?
This is a flat fee. The $12 million that they offered him is a flat fee. He gets no other fee. He doesn't get a percentage of the gate. He doesn't get a percentage of any pay-per-view revenue. Nothing. It's a flat $12 million fee.
It's 12.5. But my question to you is, Eric, what back end money should he get? Should he? You honest? I mean, again, if you believe it, then say it. Do you believe he deserves any back end UK money? I don't think so. That's my opinion because he did. He has no
structure. But is that how it's structured though? Because if this was on pay-per-view in the U.S., wouldn't Anthony Joshua get some of that revenue?
Yes, because he has a contract with Showtime. Because he has a contract with Showtime. Deontay Wilder doesn't have a contract with Sky, and he doesn't have a contract with Eddie Hearn. That's the thing.
Would the fight, and I don't know. I mean, none of us know. This is all speculation at this point. We don't know if the fight would be on pay-per-view in the U.S. or not. But if they do go ahead and make this a pay-per-view in the U.S., and he already signed a $12.5 million contract of a flat fee, that means he gets none of the revenue here.
I understand that. But as I said, if Showtime wants to, put some money in the pot for Deontay Wilder, they're more than welcome to do that. Because if you remember, Pacquiao Mayweather fought. HBO paid Pacquiao, okay, and Showtime paid Mayweather. So that was taken care of.
I hate to bring this up, guys, but in order to make this financially work for both parties, this fight very well may be on pay-per-view here in the United States. If Showtime decides that they're going to,
they would lose money if they made it pay-per-view, Robbie. They would lose money if they made it pay-per-view. They were better off just.
I agree with you.
Just showing it on Showtime.
But I don't want to see it on pay-per-view.
That's the thing. So 12.5 million is not bad. Joshua would end up 30 million, right? Joshua, we'll do Joshua's cut here. Okay, so everyone acts like Joshua's getting like Joshua's giving Deontay Wilder 12.5 and he's getting like friggin' 60 himself. No, he's not. He'll probably he'll get about roughly 18 too. Like he could probably get 18, he could probably get 20, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to be a substantial increase in what he got for Parker. I really don't. I'm just being honest. So he gets 18, and Wilder gets 12.5, but he'll get back end money off the pay-per-view because he's generating those 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. So he'll get a guaranteed 18, okay, and then he'll get back end. I think he deserved the back end money from the UK. I don't think Deontay Wilder does, because what has Deontay Wilder done to build that pay-per-view market in the UK? And I'm going to tell you something else too. You remember when, Floyd Mayweather would have his fights? He'd fight Marcos Maidana. He'd fight Victor Ortiz, Andre Berto. They would show those fights on pay-per-view in the UK. And if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, because you could buy those fights in the UK on pay-per-view, Floyd Mayweather fights.
Yeah.
Okay?
Correct.
You could do that. You remember you'd see the advertisements, hey, Sky or whatever, Sky or Box Station, whatever, we're going to broadcast this. They would charge maybe $15, $20 for it or something like that. We didn't charge big money for it, but they would still broadcast Mayweather's fights on pay-per-view in the UK, right? They're not broadcasting Deontay Wilder fights in the UK on pay-per-view. So he's not doing nothing to build that market. And that's not to denigrate him in any way. Really isn't. But Anthony Joshua is going to get a guarantee up front, probably about 18 million. And he's going to get 12.5. And then Joshua will get some back end money on the 1.5 million. Joshua will probably walk away with maybe 22, 23 million. It's not like he's getting, a ton more money than Deontay Wilder. It's not. So
how is this different though than Floyd Mayweather offering Manny Pacquiao a flat fee and then saying just take it or leave it? How is this different? Because at least I didn't agree with it then. I don't agree with this. Is kind of silly to me when he offers him a flat fee. This is it. This is what you're getting, 12.5 million, knowing that the fight could be worth X amount, especially not even knowing what Anthony.
Nobody knows what the fight's worth, Eric. But we have to look at the Klitschko fight as a barometer. I just asked you, is Wilder more popular than Klitschko?
Right.
He's not. So if that fight did 53 million, that total revenue was 53 million. Okay.
But let me ask you this. Who do you think is more popular in the U.S.? Do you think Wilder or Klitschko is more popular in the U.S.?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Mainstream right now? I'm going to say it's close, because I remember when I used to talk to people about Klitschko, he was known as the boring fighter. So he was popular for the wrong reason.
Right.
Everyone's like, because he was on HBO a lot, Eric. He was on HBO a lot.
And so, but in Europe, he was selling out arenas. I mean, this guy is huge in Europe.
He was probably equally as popular as Wilder is.
No, because he was selling out big arenas like Joshua.
No, in the United States.
Okay, in the United States. Okay.
I'm not talking about worldwide. Excuse me. I'm not talking about worldwide. Why? But I will say this. Wilder is getting popular in the UK right now. He's more popular in the UK than he is in the United States.
Okay.
Well, because he's linked to Joshua, though. Because he's linked to Joshua. That's why.
All right. Well, let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phones here, and let's weigh in.
He's a fucking mental case is what he is.
Robert. Come on, Robert.
Making so much shit up.
I love how
you're just making shit up off the top of the dome, bro.
Hang on one second. I love how we go to Jason and he's muted and he's already talking.
The funny thing is,
I expect after my sound clip is done, I'm expected to be speaking. I don't know. You're always talking some dumb shit.
Before you start, let me just say one thing, Jason, please.
Beeb,
let me just say one thing. Let me say one thing before you start.
Mayweather Promotions that cut the check for Manny, just to be clear.
No, they didn't. No, they did not. That's false. That's totally false. HBO paid
Manny.
HBO paid Manny.
It was a Showtime.
HBO paid Manny. Mayweather Promotions did not pay Manny. You're absolutely false. That is absolutely false.
It was not an HBO pay-per-view event. It was a Showtime pay-per-view.
No, it was an HBO pay-per-view. It was both.
Showtime.
Jason,
It was
are you
both.
forgetting who the announce team was?
There was two separate announce teams.
It was a Showtime-led pay-per-view. When he paid for the pay-per-view, the money went to Showtime.
On the Mayweather Pacquiao pay-per-view, it was Jim Lampley, Albert.
I know, Beeb.
Okay.
I mean, I know, Robbie. I'm talking about the pay-per-view. Who got paid for the pay-per-view? Like, who was the pay-per-view producer? Showtime produced the pay-per-view, so they cut the checks, not HBO.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
Trying to get that right.
No, they did not. All you gotta do is Google it. All you gotta do is Google it. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Wrong about what?
That Showtime did not pay Manny Pacquiao. You're wrong.
Showtime was the pay-per-view provider. What are you talking about? They're the ones raking in the money.
Bob Arum cut Manny Pacquiao the check, not Mayweather Promotions. Right. Bob Arum cut him the check.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's the promoter, so the Showtime paid Arum and whatever, same shit. But HBO didn't pay them. HBO didn't get the money.
So HBO didn't. HBO
paid him. So that's just
how could you say that when Manny Pacquiao was an HBO fighter? How can you say that? It was a co-promoted event, Jason. It was a co-promoted event. It was a co-promoted event.
Get the money.
Okay, hang on.
It was a co-promoted event, Jason.
If
HBO was showing spots on HBO.
If Pacquiao won, HBO had the replay rights. If Mayweather won, Showtime had the replay.
Right. The first fight was produced
and
all the pay-per-view stuff was done by Showtime. So when you bought the pay-per-view, the money went into Showtime coffers, not HBO coffers. That's what I'm trying to establish here. Beeb is being a retard for some reason. I don't know why.
Showtime did not pay Manny Pacquiao. Showtime can't pay Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao had a contract with HBO, you fucking banana head. How the fucking Showtime pay him? He had a contract. It's illegal. It's fucking illegal. He had a contract. He was an HBO contracted fighter. There's no way Showtime could pay him, you fucking banana head.
What contract do you have? That doesn't mean anything.
Don't you understand? All you fucking animals out there that talk business that don't know what the fuck he was signed by HBO. He was under contract.
Didn't pay Manny even 1 cent for the Mayweather fight. It was Top Rank and Showtime.
Bullshit.
Parlayed the money.
Bullshit. HBO paid Manny.
You prove that? You have documents
of course you can't
to
prove
show.
it.
You can't prove it,
Robbie,
stupid.
when you paid for the pay-per-view for May versus Pac, it was a Showtime pay-per-view. So
I agree it was a Showtime pay-per-view, but
right. So where does the money go? Where does the money go when you buy a Showtime pay-per-view? Does it go to HBO or does it go to pay-per-view CBS? Where does the money go first?
HBO was doing promos for the fight. They were advertising the fight. They rebroadcast the fight.
Oh my God! Showtime was the lead provider of the pay-per-view. I mean, your small ass head.
It was a co-promoted event. In HBO. It was a co-promoted event, goofball.
Showtime was the leader of the pay-per-view. Showtime led everything. Pay-per-view.
Never. They probably.
It was a Showtime event.
All right, let's move
ahead. Co-promoted event, you nuts.
All right, let's just.
The fight was televised through pay-per-view and jointly produced by HBO and Showtime. Right here on Wikipedia, you fucking nut. Read it right there.
That was a formality. Showtime.
The fight was televised through a pay-per-view, jointly produced by HBO and Showtime. What does jointly produced mean, you fucking idiot?
You need to mute Beeb. He's on meth or something. He's on crack or something.
You're an idiot. All you have to do is Google it. It's right there. It's jointly produced by HBO and Showtime.
Right,
what does this say, Linda?
What are your thoughts on
next topic? I was gonna give Robbie some props for making a good point about Oscar being always fucking people always blame Richard, but I was reading some court documents on bad left hook or somewhere, or what is it, bloody left hook or something. They said Al Heyman was the advisor to all those fighters even when they were under contract to Oscar, and he was advising them not to sign long-term contracts. So, and Richard said, how am I going to force these fighters to sign long-term contracts when their advisor is telling them not to? So Richard was just trying to get the money while he could. So he was promoting the Heyman fighters, and he was getting a fee for that. He only had two choices. Either he could get the money from Heyman for promoting the cards or let them go to somewhere else. So he did the right thing and kept the money in-house. So that's Robbie. I agree with you. It wasn't fucking Richard's fault. I think it was everybody's fault. Oscar, Eric Gomez, like the guy that Canelo called out this weekend. He called him a liar and shit. I mean, these guys are not really that professional. They're like buddies. They're like childhood friends. They're running a promotional company. They're not really like professional. That's why that happens to them.
Well, unfortunately, now that all this has come out, you've got to really look back at that whole thing and wonder, who's really to blame. I mean, now that all this has been exposed, you've got to basically say everybody's been at fault here. And it looks like,
the story, man. The story didn't get any publicity in America except on YouTube. TMZ didn't cover it, which is fucking shocking to me. Oscar must have hired a really good PR firm because they must have promised TMZ some future interviews with Oscar. Otherwise, there's no way they wouldn't cover a salacious story like this. If this was fucking Floyd, this would be on CNN, ESPN, First Take, everywhere. They didn't cover it at all. If you Google it, only website that covered it was Daily Mail. That's it. No other website did it, which is fucking shocking.
Yeah.
How much this guy gets protected? I don't like that. I mean, most other fighters would be on front page if this happened to them.
Yeah, but the guy's a laughing stock. He's never going to be taken serious.
He asked several questions now.
He's never going to be taken serious again. The whole world knows what he's done.
I know this guy was like photographed in like fish.
Yeah, he will be. Come on, dude. I mean, look at all the comments. I mean, I saw comments on Boxing Ego. There's like hundreds of Mexican people saying, "Who cares what he does behind closed doors? Oscar's the man." This, that. I mean, Mexican people give him too much of a pass for some reason. I don't know why.
He ain't getting
that golden boy, which is, I mean, it kind of reflects poorly on the Mexican people, not on him. I mean, he's a crook. Everybody knows it, but I don't know why they put him on such a pedestal, and this is the kind of shit that he does. And he has like 4 or 5 kids with that Millie woman too, and this is the kind of shit he's always getting into. It's just fucking shameful. He's got like 5 or 6 kids, and this is the kind of shit he's doing. And then he goes around judging Floyd Mayweather and this, and Floyd Mayweather did that shit when he had that fight with his baby mama like 9 years ago. He went to jail for it, and I don't think he's ever been to jail ever since. So, he moved on, but Oscar is the one who always talks shit about Floyd's past, and that's why he always gets exposed. I think it's the karma, because he's always trying to talk shit about other people. Then fucking his fight gets canceled with Canelo. He's fucking telling Wilder, if you want to be a star, call me. And this is the kind of shit that's going on in his life. Why would you sign with this guy when you have a big fight? This guy might be in rehab, or he might be in sex rehab. I mean, why would anybody want to sign with this guy? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, if he's promoting me, man, I tell you what, I don't know. I mean, wasn't he just in for cocaine?
Mikey Garcia. Go ahead.
Wasn't he just in for cocaine a little while ago? Didn't he just go to rehab?
Yes, he was.
He was in rehab for the Canelo fight. Richard was the one running that fucking event, the biggest pay-per-view event in Golden Boy's history. Richard promoted that, not Oscar, not Eric Gomez. It was Richard's baby.
I forgot about that. That's right. That was during the Triple G fight too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also
he's involved in it again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't even think Triple G versus Oscar like did half numbers of Mayweather Canelo. That just tells you their power,
No.
Yeah, no. You really have to look back at this whole thing now and go, you know what? Maybe we were all wrong for blaming Richard Schaefer and Al Heyman for doing what they did in the first place.
That's what I said. I mean,
I know you always get mad at me when I call out Steve Kim, but guys like Steve Kim, Dan Rafaela, they've enabled this guy so much. They never fucking they would never confront him about anything like this, like Steve Kim did Eddie Hearn about Scott Quick missing weight. I mean, nobody confronts these American promoters. Not Doug Fisher, not Steve Kim, not Dan Rafaela.
My only point to you, Jason, was if you have a beef with Steve Kim, he's got his own show. You could always call him.
Yeah, but he's not the type of guy.
Why don't you try out for being a co-host? Gabe left. Gabe's last show was last week. Jason, Gabe's last show was last week. You can try out to be his co-host now. You can audition.
Oh, for real? He's not on there anymore?
Yeah, Gabe tweeted out he's left.
Why?
He just didn't want to do it anymore. But you know what? I never blamed everyone for leaving Golden Boy. You know why? Because when you have someone, it's like anything else. If you're working at a job and you see your boss doing all crazy stuff, and like you want to work with someone like that, like someone who's erratic like that, like you look at someone like that who's not fit to run a company. You want that person to be your boss? Aren't you scared that he may, run the business into the ground? They saw a sinking ship, so they jumped off it. Well, what's wrong with that?
Nobody wants to.
And then he said he was going to sell the company. I'm talking about when all the Al Heyman fighters, when Al Heyman fighters all jumped ship and they stopped.
Okay.
You were
You know
just
what
saying
everyone
left.
everyone says, oh,
They were
everyone
holding
says, oh, Richard Schaefer stole the fighters from Oscar. No, those guys left because they weren't under contract. If you were so concerned about those fighters' well-being, why wouldn't you make sure they were taken care of and give them a contract? That's the thing.
Also, in the court papers, it was in the discovery phase. It was revealed that Al Heyman sent Richard Schaefer with $100 million cash offer while Oscar was in rehab during the Canelo fight. He sent him there, and Oscar rejected that. And also, all those fighters that left with Heyman had to pay them. Heyman paid like $20-30 million to him to take all those fighters, like Danny Wilder, Amir Khan. He paid him like $30 million cash. That was all in the court papers. So this was not
that.
Took him away from free. He had to pay him. Yeah, like fucking 9-10 figures. And he offered him $100 million cash. You should have taken that shit for that company, but he didn't take it.
There it is. All right, Jason, we're going to get running. I want to thank you again for setting us all straight. So there you go, Jason. As always, great call. All right, let's go to area code 805. 805, California. Your stomping grounds, Robert.
Yeah, it's Mr. Nacho. Hello, Nacho.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Bring some sanity. Bring some sanity to this show. Bring some sanity to this show, Nacho.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to get into that whole.
I opened up the Wikipedia and it said it clear as day. Now he's lying about. Now he's trying to say Wikipedia is wrong.
Well, it is what it is. The only thing I'm going to say that I agree with was that the whole information about Al Heyman having sent fucking that snake Richard Schaefer while Oscar was trying to deal with his drug problem at rehab and sent him to try to buy Golden Boy from him. That's the only tidbit that I legitimately agree with, because everyone reported that, and Oscar said no, he wasn't interested in selling. But as far as everything else, it's all speculation, because no one's really come out and reported as far as like Al Heyman paying Golden Boy fighter or guys that were under his advisement having to buy them out from Golden Boy. I don't understand how that happened, considering that they never signed contracts with Golden Boy in the first place. So how do you buy something out that was never signed to someone else?
Well, that's true, Nacho, but don't you have to look back on this whole thing now that Oscar's in more trouble and say, maybe they were right within trying to take over the company? I mean, you have to admit this looks really bad.
No, it does. But then at the same time, Robbie, the problem with Oscar De La Hoya, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, I've actually seen this guy in Pasadena with a bunch of hangers on, and they're all encouraging this guy to drink and party. And then they wonder why the guy is in the position that he's in. He obviously has a bunch of yes men around him who are not trying to help the guy out, and that probably includes the people that are in his company, whether it's Eric Gomez or Robert Perez, his matchmaker. Like, those guys should look at themselves in the mirror and say, if I'm really his friend, why the hell am I not trying to get this guy some legitimate help and trying to help him deal with this crazy shit that he's going through? Because, I mean, like I said, I saw this in person about a year or so ago. He was at a bar in Pasadena with like 30 people. He looked like he was completely loaded, and everyone there was just laughing and talking and acting like, they were all having a good time. And Oscar looked like he was completely out of it. So ever since I heard the whole story about him getting a DUI, leaving Pasadena, I'm not shocked that any of this other stuff has come out. That guy has a whole lot of issues ever since he's left boxing, and I don't know what else you can do for that guy. At some point, he has to get some kind of help to deal with that crazy shit. But it is what it is. I just wanted to talk about the fights last week because you guys didn't have a show. I thought Hurd looked awesome dispatching of Lara. I didn't agree at all with the scoring of that fight. I didn't understand how some of these judges gave Lara 5 rounds. I thought Hurd won that fight 8-4, and then you include the knockdown. He should have won that fight by at least 5 points, in my opinion. I thought he completely outclassed him and took him apart, and Lara was basically fighting off the back foot the entire fight. and he just never felt comfortable. He was never able to dictate the fight to Hurd. Hurd was the one dictating the whole time, and he eventually just steamrolled him at the very end. And as far as the other fight, I thought Julian Williams looked good. He took Gallimore apart, which was pretty impressive because Gallimore had beaten some guys in
what about James DeGale?
Oh my God. I honestly don't want to see either one of those two guys on air ever again. Truex and DeGale do not ever belong on Showtime airwaves. That was a horrible fight. It was even worse than the first fight. So I think James DeGale is right for the taking. If they can put someone in there who's a better fighter than him, they're going to beat him. He's very beatable at this point.
How about David Benavidez?
I have a feeling. Actually, you know who I was thinking would be DeGale's opponent? Anthony Durrell, Robbie. I have a feeling he's going to be the next guy who's going to get a shot at James DeGale.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as far as this weekend's fights that are coming up, I'm picking Vargas to beat Broner. It's the same broken record with Broner. He always says he's going to be in great shape and that he's focused and yada, yada, yada. And he eventually loses when he has to step up and fight somebody who's as good as him or if not even better than him. So I think Vargas is going to beat him for sure. With Cuellar Davis, I think Davis is going to win that fight, but I think it's going to be a really tough and rugged fight for him to win because Cuellar is not going to show up just to get rolled by Davis. I think he's going to come in there hungry, and he's going to come in there motivated, and he's going to show up to try to win that fight. But I think somehow, some way, Davis is going to do enough to where he escapes with a decision in that fight. And the Charlo Centeno fight, I'm kind of skeptical about Centeno because even though he's looked good in his last couple of fights and he's beaten some guys by knockout, I don't know if he's big enough to handle Charlo. I think Charlo's a huge middleweight, and I just think he's going to impose himself on Centeno. And I think he probably ends up stopping Centeno probably somewhere before round 9, I think. I think he stops him. And I was just wondering about, I don't know if you guys saw the fights on Thursday and Friday with Francisco Vargas and Rod Salka.
Yeah.
That whole...
I saw it. I saw both of those fight cards. Ugh. I was not impressed with either one. Jeez. Yeah, for sure. Both of those fights. Although there was one thing that did stand out about the Friday card. Did you guys see that 6'6" junior middleweight that signed to the PBC?
No, I didn't.
That guy about him. You didn't? Oh my God, that guy! I honestly thought when I heard about him, I was like, this guy's probably just some big stiff who they're throwing in there to try to make look good. But I have to give the kid credit. He actually looks like he's got solid skills and fundamentals, and he can take a shot because he got hit with some pretty good shots in that fight, and he was still able to keep coming, and he just overpowered the guy that he took on, and he stopped him. I don't know how in the hell you're going to beat a guy like that because that guy is massive at 154. I mean, it's crazy.
That's the biggest 154 pounder I've ever seen. I don't know how, if he's a decent fighter at all.
He's not.
I don't know how any 154 pounder deals with the guy. I mean, he looks like a heavyweight built in a small weight class.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a cruiserweight who cuts down the junior middle. It's crazy, but yeah, I mean, he looks like he might be the real deal because he looked good in that fight on Friday night. I was very impressed with him. So, and he's young; he's only 20. So it'll be interesting to see how they move him along. And yeah, that's it, guys. I guess I'll talk to you. Oh, real quick, before I forget, I know Jason just brought it up about Steve Kim's show because Steve Kim did say that the show is on hiatus, but I went on his partner's timeline. And apparently it just sounds like he's moved on to other endeavors. Apparently he's into like being in stage plays and, you know, he's writing manuscripts and stuff. So
I know. So I wonder if that Monday show is still going to continue then.
Yeah, I've been trying to find that out because I've sent messages to both of them to see if anyone's going to fill in. Honestly, if he has the time, I wouldn't mind seeing Doug Fisher do the show again with Steve Kim, because when they did it together, it was great.
What about
me?
What about me? Why can't I do the show?
Good people.
What about me? How come I can't do the show?
I wouldn't mind seeing.
What about Ringside Robert? Why can't he do the show?
Eric.
Come on.
Yeah, if one of you guys could fill in, that'd be great too. But I mean,
hey, I'd love
I'm
it.
assuming. Yeah,
Jason and Steve Kim, like they'd be great together.
Yeah.
You guys would have to talk to him about it.
That's right.
All right,
Jason should do an audition. Okay. Jason should do an audition. Try out for the show.
Jason should do an audition.
Yeah.
How great would that be? Oh my God, that would be so.
Hey, I'd love being on 2 days a week.
Hi, Steve. I diss the hell out of you week after week, but I'd like to do a show with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Everybody piles on.
Yeah.
And like, hey, by the way, Steve, my man. Let's see what we can do here. 804, you're live. I think this is Corey.
804. Hello, Corey.
Corey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How's everything going?
Good, man. Good.
What's up, Corey?
What's going on, Joe and Beeb? What's good, man? I'm sorry, we couldn't schedule a date to get up this week, man. But for sure next week, man. Like
maybe I'll do Friday with you. I'll do Friday.
Crazy at my job, man.
He said he'll do it April 32nd.
It's been crazy, like. Nah, man, I'm gonna do it though, man. Like I said, we just did a 3-hour-long live earlier today. I did it with Trap House Boxing, Suleiman.
Oh, wow.
Legacy,
wow.
Yeah, I'm automatically 200 views, at least 100 views per show. But I mean, I'm just trying to build the show up. I'm gonna be hitting 400 subscribers sometime this week. So, like I said, man, that's pretty much from February 3rd, from the Murat Garcia fight, to now. It's been a pretty big roller coaster, man. But we're here. Corey Lee Boxing isn't going anywhere. I've made a video with Gervonta Davis, talking shit about Deontay Wilder, man. 49,000 views. That shit went viral, man. But, like I said, man, I'm just working, man. I appreciate y'all checking out the show, man. I appreciate y'all supporting me, man. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to make it together, man. It's positive vibes only, man. I just be joking with you. Eric, I got love for you, man. Y'all do a great job. And now I see how hard it is to do a fucking show every week,
right?
Man. Damn, that shit's hard, dog.
It's not easy, is it?
Yeah, this shit comes up, This shit comes up during the week, man. And, my Thursday, 8:00 p.m., you can check my show out live, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I got a guy from Texas on there. I got a guy from Canada on there. And we just talk boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? And we go pretty hard. But to get to the fights, man, I really can't wait, man, for the fights to come up this week. So my 3-fight breakdown so far, I'm going to start off with Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner's a beast, man, but we just haven't seen that beast lately. You know what I'm saying? His last good fight was Antonio DeMarco, man. I was saying that shit earlier on the show, man. His last good fight was Antonio DeMarco, and he hasn't put out from that point on, man. It's been pretty much steadily going downhill. He showed a little bit of, pretty good, form in that Adrien Granados fight, man, because let me tell you something, man. Adrien Granados is a fucking trooper, dog. He's a beast, dog. And I know it says he has like 7 losses. In actuality, he only should have about 2 losses, man. He should fire the fuck out of his manager and punch his promoter.
Yeah.
I mean, they putting him in with fucking dogs every time, back to back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, banger after banger, man. And not even the weight division bangers. You know what I'm saying? He's reaching, He's fighting guys at 147. I think Adrien Granados could make 135. Easy. If he really, truly wanted to. I think he could be a world champion at 135. I think he beats Ray Beltran every day of the fucking week, twice on Sundays. He's a beast, man. And I mean, I got my eye for talent, man. And I think Adrien Granados, he has 7 losses, but he's never been stopped. He's a hard-nosed Mexican Chicago fighter. And I think, I don't think he should give up boxing, man. You know, his last fight, he said, man, I haven't been getting a fair shake in boxing. He deleted his social media account. You know, a couple guys on my show was telling me about him because one of the guys lives near Chicago, and they were just saying, man, you know, he's pretty much giving up on boxing almost, man. You know what I mean? It's fucked up, man. You know, the politics of boxing could make a boxer do this, man.
He's one of my favorite fighters,
man,
yeah.
Because I think he could have. Yeah, man, I think he could have won each and every one of those fights, man. It's just the scorecards just were awful, man. And some of those cards were 117, 110. He was in close in all of his fights. All of his fights, he was close.
And to be fair, they put him in there against guys like Sean Porter, who outweighed him. I mean, that's not his his class.
And I think he did Sean Porter, man. I think he did extremely well against
I think he
Porter,
did too. Man. I think he absolutely did.
So just imagine if he was in the right weight division. You know, he's fighting monsters that are weight division he shouldn't even be in. He's probably like 145 the day of the fight. Come on, man. And I mean, for guys like Sean Porter and shit like that to take that fight, man, I mean, I know he's reaching. I know he doesn't have any control on that, man, but dude, fight somebody your own size. That's what I've always been told.
Right.
Fight somebody your own size, dude. And a lot of these guys don't. You know, they duck and dodge, and then they call out, they pick and choose. Like Sean Porter. You want to say Sean Porter's name? Sean Porter's ducking the fuck out of Errol Spence, but he wants Danny Garcia so bad. He wants him so bad, but you're ducking a dude that you can get a belt from right now. Give me a break, you fucking idiot. Give me a break, man. Come on. You can get the IBF strap whenever you want to, but you don't want it.
The IBF belongs to Earl Spence, Corey.
Yeah, I know that, Robbie. But Earl Spence definitely said he could. He gave Sean Porter the invitation on more than one occasion. And you see, and Kenny Porter's comeback was, well, we're paying sanctioning fees. You know, we don't. What about the $200,000-300,000? Well, what about Danny Garcia jumping in front of you for the #1 spot now? What are you gonna do now? If y'all don't fight, you know, that's my personal opinion about Sean Porter. But back to the Adrien Broner. Broner, you know, I think he's going to fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to do good. This is my last time pick. I'm picking Adrien Broner to win.
There it is.
This is my last time picking Adrien Broner to win.
Corey.
Last time. That's my last
Corey. Why?
Corey Vargas is
Why, Corey? Why?
No, Joe Habib, no.
Eric's just picking him to disagree with me and Robbie, so we all agree to all three agree. But you too.
My personal opinion is, man, I honestly think that you know, I think AB. Oh, y'all had the music in the background. Yo, you crazy, Eric. You crazy, yo. You crazy dude, yo. But yo, I got AB, man. It's my last and final offer on AB for him to get Corey Lee Boxing's pick out of me, man. I'm gonna give my pick. I'm gonna give it strong. If he doesn't win, I will never in my life ever pick Adrien Broner to win another fight. Ever. You know, and I put faith in Adrien Broner. I'm putting all my faith in Adrien Broner on his last fight back against the wall. This is a lower level fighter than Mikey Garcia. I honestly think this is a winnable fight if he fights down and fucking fights back. You gotta fight back, AB. Fuck all that shoulder roll. I need the dog out of you. The fuck out of here with that pick popping and shoot shopping and, you know, wheeling and dealing. Be a dog, man. Walk that motherfucker Jesse Vargas down. He's not the biggest 147 pounder I've ever seen. He's one of the smaller 147 pounders. So I think he should be. I think this will be a good platform for AB to show off what he can do against a really good Mexican fighter. You know, he didn't show us anything versus the Mikey Garcia. But like I said early on my show, I read a script where, you know, AB said nobody can fix my mistakes and the trials and tribulations of my life but me. You know, when you're an addict or when you're doing this and when you're doing that, you can tell the other person, like, hey, you know, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. But you truly know deep in your heart what you're doing. So only you can fix it. And that's what he pretty much said in the interview, man. I read it on Boxing Scene today. You know, and I mean, I think that AB, you know, said he's in seclusion. you know, he's with Cunningham, man, and you know, Cunningham tells him how it is. He said they cussed each other out for the first week of training camp. He's in there with another dog, which his back is against the wall, and Gervonta Davis as well. If Adrien Broner doesn't come out of this firestorm, you know, guns are blazing in this fight, man, I'm never picking this guy again, man. So I'm picking AB to beat, you know, Jesse Vargas. So the Charlo Centino fight, I'm picking Charlo by early stoppage, man. He's blazing this guy out of here. He's sparking the hell out of Centino, man. Centino beat one of my boys from the boxing gym close to my house, Aleem. He beat Aleem. And man, Aleem could have this fight right now. That's just the fucked up thing about boxing, man. Aleem could have this Charlo fight, man. And I would much rather see the Aleem fight Charlo than the Centino. But Centino got a lucky punch. He knocked Aleem out. Aleem, you know, he hasn't seen him fight yet since then. But Centino's fight now, you gotta respect Centino for the little bit of power that he showed, and he knocked the guy out, and it's on to the next, man. But I got Charlo blazing him out in 5. Gervonta Davis is up next. I got Gervonta Davis beating Celiar. How you pronounce his last name? I know
Cuellar.
Cuellar. Sorry, Cuellar. All right, Cuellar. Yeah. I got Gervonta Davis beating Cuellar. But this is a dog fight, man. I don't think this is a walk in the park for Gervonta Davis. You know, ladies and gentlemen that listen out there, man, I don't think this is a walk in the park for Gervonta Davis, man. I think this is I think this could be a shootout, man. I think he's in there with a tough Mexican, Argentinian?
Gervonta murks this guy.
Yeah, no, man, no. I don't think that it's gonna be that easy. I do think it's gonna be by a stoppage. I think Gervonta Davis beats him. But I don't think this is going to be as easy as what you think, man. I think this fight will be harder than his title fight. Mark my words. Mark my words.
His title fight was pretty easy, though.
Fight, man. Well, I'm just saying it's going to be harder than that fight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be harder than that fight. But he got hit in that fight. You know, he got hit in that fight. But I got this fight going a little bit harder than that. And moving on with the Amir Khan, Phil DeGreco. I got Amir Khan shutout, 12-round decision, easy win. Phil DeGreco shouldn't be boxing anymore. I don't think he's an elite fighter. He is going to get this paycheck. He is under Amir Khan's skin. And if you remember in the press conference, Amir Khan threw water on him. He got real out of character, saying that Anthony Joshua, you know, pretty much, you know, did some things with his wife and stuff like that, and got underneath Amir Khan's skin. But you know, hey, man, I got Amir Khan by shutout. And last but not least, y'all, Nonito Donaire versus your boy, Beeb.
Carl Frampton.
Carl Frampton, baby.
Carl Frampton, baby. So I got Carl Frampton winning that fight, man. But surprisingly so, man. A lot of guys on my show picked Nonito Donaire to win this fight, y'all.
No,
to be honest with you, I kind of see why, man. Because Carl Frampton hasn't looked good in his last couple fights, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, but neither is Donaire. Look who he's been fighting.
No, I mean Corey Nonito Donaire is on a banana peel. He's on his way out. The Jackal should take him apart.
Cold-blooded.
Well, I mean, you know, that's what it is. I'm not gonna always pick the favorite. I had a guy like Suleiman. He picked Centino on my show. He picked Cuellar on my show, and he picked fucking Vargas on my show, dog. I was like, what the fuck, yo?
Rolling with the Latins.
But yeah, man, this is Corey Lee Boxing, man, and pretty much I'm signing out, man. Y'all have a great week, man.
All right, see you, Corey.
Later.
You think we can work in Corey Lee Boxing one more time?
What boxing is it?
You gotta give the guy credit. He's trying to do a show, and
the Don King of Ringside.
Steve Kim's show is over with, huh? Jesus.
Is that right? It's over?
He's from what's his name just said. I guess Steve Kim's not gonna do it by himself.
There you go. Hey, some sad news before we get to the next caller. Some sad news coming out of Hollywood tonight. R. Lee Ermey has passed away. If you guys don't remember Lee Ermey, he's the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket. and he's been on like a lot of shows since then. That was like where he got his start. I know I know everybody's probably seen him before.
He passed away.
Yeah, he was legit. Like he was legit. He was like a Marine drill instructor in real life, and then they had him working on that movie, and he sent them a videotape, and the rest is kind of history. So he was like a natural for that role and everything like that. So pretty sad, man. Sad stuff.
Yep.
How old is he? Was he when he passed?
74. 74.
It's kind of young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, man. All right. Let's go to area code 508.
From this day, you'll be my new food.
What's happening, people?
Georgie.
Hey, Georgie, what's up?
Eric, I talked to the commission, brother. They said they're going to give you some leanish. They're going to give you a break, or we're talking about AB.
They got to give me a break.
You're going to have to surrender title. That's what they say.
That's
Yo,
right.
Beeb! Talk to me, baby. Gotta holler at you, brother.
What's up, brother? I think we're on the same page, right? That 12-5 isn't as
We're sort of getting there. I tried to get you visa back after they took your citizenship from the UK. Trying to get you that visa back in there, but it's kind of hard, buddy. It's kind of hard these days.
I think I'm back, though. I think I'm back in good graces with the Queen.
Brother, they talking about taking you out of the Jedi Council.
Oh, no. Come on.
They want to take you out of the Jedi Council, baby.
No.
They come out with these bullshit mind tricks. Why they came out with these bullshit attend to a Jedi mind trick.
Oh, wow.
Look inside my pockets. Man, we can't fall for that bullshit.
No.
Money's what dictates how we see this fight, how this fight comes to be. So
Yep.
we talk about money, what the fuck we're gonna talk about? The goodwill of the fucking vampires?
So what do you think, man? You think Wilder should take that 12-5 or what?
What was that? Couldn't hear you.
I said, you think Wilder should take that 12-5 or what?
Baby, the man, listen, we got to be honest here, brother. Eddie Hearn got to put on the contract that Deontay Wilder have to go there in the middle of the ring. Have to be in the contract. He has to go fucking kneel down on both knees and ask for forgiveness for the fucking 30+ tomato cans that he fought. Ask for forgiveness for the fucking dive that Malik Khan took in front of him. And when he asks for forgiveness, then you can offer him maybe 5% of the purse. And then you know what I'm saying? Maybe the fight can happen. Because, man, like you say, if you don't got nothing to offer, what you offering? A pair of Jordans and a used lollipop?
Wow.
What this man is offering? Can somebody explain me what the counter offer will be? Anybody knows?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knows.
Well,
they just gave him a $12.5 million, which would indicate to me that he'd be stupid to take that right now because he doesn't know what the full contract is.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, no one's saying he can't counter offer.
Well, he's going to. Yeah. He's already refused the offer. They're going to counter offer. They weren't.
I guess I was reading Brian Custard's Twitter or Instagram or whatever it was. Shout out to Boxing Eagle. He made a video today. I think he showed Brian Custard's Twitter or Instagram, and Brian Custard said that he is aware. He knows the details of the counter offer that was sent over to Eddie Hearn. I guess they went over. I guess they received it today. So I don't know. We may get some news at some point this week. I don't know. But the counter offer has been put forth and it was delivered today. So we'll see.
Man, listen back. While the fan base with amount maybe like 200 people with few family members, yo, they be making these videos on YouTube. This is crazy. The same way that Jason come here with his made-up facts and his bullshit, these people doing it all. I've seen a video that how could you offer the most exciting heavyweight? That's how they call him, the most excited heavyweight in the world. That little money. You're so excited. How come you can't pack no fucking stadium? You can put no 20,000 seats fucking to watch you. They talking about how Eddie Hearns bought like 1 million subscribers on Twitter. Okay, so if AJ got 2 million fucking subscribers and Deontay don't even got 100,000, and he bought 1 million, mathematically shows that he's still up 1 million. So what the fuck you saying? He's still more popular. Bought it or not bought a subscriber.
I got a question for everyone. I got a great question for everyone on the panel, and this is no disrespect to Deontay Wilder. He's been averaging in his last 8 fights about 1.3 million. Those have been his purses, right? He's making 1.3 million a purse. Let's go back and let's look at any heavyweight champion in the last, any American heavyweight champion in the last maybe 10 years, 15 years, right? Has like when Mike Tyson was fighting, when Evander Holyfield was fighting, when Riddick Bowe was fighting, when Michael Moore was fighting, were they making, after being champ for 4 years? I don't think Michael Moore was ever champ for 4 years, but Holyfield, whatever. Were these guys making $1.3 million a fight? These guys were making tens of millions.
No, they were making a lot more than that.
So, I have nothing against Deontay Wilder. I like him a lot. I think he's a good personality, good fighter, comes across well, whatever. But this is the thing. Everyone's mad, okay, about this offer. Why are they mad at Eddie Hearn? They need to be mad at the people that have guided Deontay Wilder's career. Okay? These guys need to do something.
You, baby. I got the answer, baby. No rocket science. Wilder decide between him and his management. They decide to stick with this WBC mafia shit. And regardless of the competition they put in front of him, somehow back in the day, they sold him this idea that, hold on, we're going to make a fight. You're going to get these belts. He put all his eggs on that basket. He laid his bag on that motherfucker. Prepared that motherfucker real nice and comfy. And now that his years passed by, he's laying down in that fucking shithole and he's complaining about it. They're making demands. Come on, Beeb.
All right, look. So here's the deal. $12.5 million, a flat fee, never works. In fact, that's what Floyd tried to do to Manny. Everybody thought it was nonsense then. I don't see how we can see it any other way now.
But Eric, Manny was a pay-per-view fighter. Manny was a pay-per-view fighter. This guy's never fought on pay-per-view before, ever.
Yeah, but according to you guys, the fight may not be on pay-per-view here. So what's the...
So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be on pay-per-view in the UK. So why would he get UK back-end money? I can't understand that. Why would they give him any of the UK back-end money?
I think we have to figure out how much he's going to make. We have to, because we're not talking at this point. If they're offering him $12.5 million, which is a big, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's life-changing money. But if they're going to offer him that much, all right, why would, I don't understand, that's not 20%. That could be 10%. That could be 20%. Could be 50. Who knows? But we don't know.
Eric, hold on, baby. Let's check this out, because you're comparing Mayweather Pacquiao fight to the Deontay Wilder and AJ fight.
No, I use that as an example. No. I use that as an example because that's the one we know. But this has been done numerous times. Pacquiao had a country behind him.
And then also, too, Pacquiao had a promoter to feed him.
Okay, guys.
He got that country behind him in that bag, right?
Don't get hung up. Don't get hung up on the Pacquiao-Mayweather example. I'm not comparing this fight popularity-wise to that fight. I'm just comparing it. Hey, there was a contract. He gave him the contract. how is this really that different? In the sense that you guys have two big stars.
They're different animals. Everybody cannot be the same contract or even close. Because, like we said, Pacquiao had a contract in the back. He got something to negotiate with. Even took 5 years or whatnot, but he could have waited. He was making his paper, no problem. Wilder only got AJ, and he don't fight AJ. He's back to Brazil for the $1 million. Simple as that. There is no more mathematical equation that we gotta go around. Baby, you don't go to the store asking fucking discount that are unreasonable. They're gonna kick you out of the store.
And here's the problem.
God ain't got no store. AJ on the bitch.
Here's the problem. He fights Brazil, right? Then Anthony Joshua fights Alexander Povetkin. Then Alexander Povetkin gets knocked out, right? Gets knocked out of the equation, right? He's taken out of the mix. Then Anthony Joshua fights Dillian White. He gets taken out of the mix, right? Then Anthony Joshua fights Tyson Fury. See, he's got big money. He's got a lot of big money options. It's going to take Deontay Wilder. He has to fight 12 Dominic Brazils to get that 12.5. That's the thing. Manny Pacquiao had a promoter, had a contract with HBO, a long-term contract with HBO. Okay, he was a pay-per-view fighter. Okay, this is totally different. This guy's never been on pay-per-view before. He fought arguably the third best heavyweight in the world, right? Or at the very least, the fourth.
Okay, but you're saying
and he only got 2.1 million
in Britain. He's been on pay-per-view in Britain. They don't, it's not the same. It's not.
But he still sells 1.5 million homes in a UK market in a region that is a third the size of the United States, and he's doing 1.5 million. That's incredible.
And another thing to consider too, Eric. Every time Joshua fights, whether it's in Wembley Stadium or Cardiff Wells, he sells minimum 80,000 seats per fight.
So what? But okay, Robert,
and he's getting Showtime money on top of the UK money.
Do you think that he deserves 40%?
Wilder?
No.
Yeah. You don't think he deserves 40%?
No, because he doesn't
Parker
have anything to negotiate with. Wilder doesn't have anything to negotiate with.
He's got a belt. What do you mean he doesn't have anything to negotiate with?
Parker got like 31%.
Come on, Eric.
Come on, man. Listen, I'm not Deontay Wilder's biggest fan, but come on, man.
Parker got about 31% when it was all said and done.
All right, 35 to 40%. He's worth that?
I think Deontay Wilder, honestly, I think at the very most, right, Deontay Wilder should get paid for this fight. Mm-hmm. I don't think he should get more than 15 million. I don't.
Is that what we're asking, though? Percentage-wise. That's how all the fights typically break down. Percentage.
Okay. All right, so he gets 40%. But let's run the numbers. Is this fight going to be bigger than Vladimir Klitschko, Anthony Joshua? Yes or no?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Come on.
Is this fight?
We gotta break down because this is another thing that got fans confused. Like, what the fuck is the purse? Oh, and what is
not known.
The final revenue?
It's not known. That's the
point. We don't, the purse, we don't even know the fucking purse. And the final revenue going to come out even way after. So when we start to fucking analyze these numbers that nobody knows.
But Eric,
that's not accurate, though.
Right. 40%.
That's not accurate.
You're asking for a percentage,
right,
on a number that has not been determined yet. And the only way
okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. If the percentage, there's a flat fee on what the fighters are getting paid. Yeah. All right, they get paid X amount of million. We have this pot. The fighters get everything. Hang on, hang tight.
Let him finish, Georgie. Georgie, let him finish. You'll get your
We've got a big pot of money that the fighters get. If it's 50 million and then they divide it up 60-40, 70-30, whatever. After that, you have the pay-per-view revenue and everything like that, okay? That can be that's the percentages that nobody knows. We don't know what the fight's going to do. But what you start out with is the big pot of money, and they say, okay, he's getting 70%, he's getting 30%, boom. Then we take that number and then we divide it. That's how you know. Now, as far as pay-per-view revenue or whatever, that's all on the side. But to offer somebody $12.5 million when we don't know what the fight is worth, we don't know what's in the big pot of money, nobody's going to take that off.
But Eric,
no, the worst part is they know he's not going to take that offer.
No, that's not. Well, this is the thing, Eric.
Okay,
this is the thing. Let me finish.
Let me ask you this question, brother. Let me ask you this question, because we can go around this fucking hamster wheel for too long. As a boxing fan, and you seen Deontay Wilder resume, don't is a side of you that feels happy about it, that want to make him pay for that bullshit competition?
I hear you.
With AJ.
I hear you. I mean,
not a little bit of yourself that say like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not gonna even fucking defend it.
I agree. But in order for the fight to come off, we all know it has to be more.
But Eric, let me get to the percentage question you asked.
Sure.
Because regardless of the percentages, right? There has to be guaranteed upfront money for the fighters to take the fight. Yes.
Guaranteed money up front.
There has to be a guarantee. Like every fighter gets a guarantee, regardless of and that guarantee is based off of projections, and the projections are based off of what the fighters have generated in the past. So that Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko,
percentage though, yes. If they say we're going to guarantee you $12.5 million, that's a 40% percentage, or that's a 30% percentage.
It is a percentage. It does end up being a percentage of something. Yes.
Right.
There's no okay, but this is my point. They have to do projections, so they have to use that Vladimir Klitschko Anthony Joshua fight as a barometer, right? Fair enough. That fight generated $53 million total revenue. That fight, and then I asked you, is Deontay Wilder more popular than Vladimir Klitschko? We agreed that he's probably not. Maybe right now about the same. So is it safe to say, through projecting revenue based off empirical data, that this fight on the high end could possibly do maybe 60 million? That's being generous, right?
I don't know. 60, I think that's realistic. I think that's
60 million
realistic, but I don't know. It's
but you have to do it.
Than Klitschko. You know what I mean? There's a bigger storyline here than Klitschko.
There is. But I'm thinking at the very top end, I think the fight will end up doing 55 million, but I'm being generous. So let's say we do 60 million. Now that's total revenue generated. So you're gonna have to subtract about 25 million off the top of that, because again, I told you the networks, Showtime's got to get paid, Sky's got to get paid, Eddie Hearn's got to get paid. You know, so you subtract the 25 million off of that, right? So there's 45 left, right? Yes. Yeah. So let's run the numbers off this, and this is a generous number. So let's run the numbers off that. So 18 million.
Yep.
Okay.
So he's still short. That's 25%.
18 million. That 40. So 40% of that is 18 million. Okay. But that's based off if the fight does 60. But if the fight does 55, subtract 25 off of that. Okay, there's 30 left.
55 take away 25 is 30.
Yeah, as I said, 30. I got 30 right here.
Yeah.
Okay, times that by 40. That equals about 12, right? So let's say, a guesstimate would be, 53, 60.
55. I got the
55 numbers. 55 is a solid number, right? That's 55. Probably
okay. But let's do that then. 55 divided by 4.
No, but that's total revenue. But you have to subtract the television money and all that stuff, because total revenue does not. The fighters don't divide up the total revenue. Like Mayweather Pacquiao was a $600 million fight. Pacquiao got like 120. Mayweather got like 180, whatever. They didn't get the. You don't divide the whole 600, because like I told you, the Klitschko and the Joshua fight was 53. They got 15 apiece. They divided 30. So what I'm telling you is, fans are looking at the total revenue number, and they're saying the fighters divide that. No, because you have to pay the television, you have to pay Sky, Showtime, and you have to pay the promoters. And then what's left over, that's the fighter's money. So if the fight does 55, there's about 30 left over for the fighters. So then you do your percentages based off of that. And that's about right.
No, it's not. No, I think that's way too low. I think it's way too
But
low.
how? But then how?
Stop it! Let's stop it, Robbie.
How did? But just think, Klitschko, Joshua generated 53 million. The fighters got 15 million apiece.
All right, let's move ahead.
Why? That's because they don't get the whole. You don't divide the total revenue.
Right.
When you're saying a fight, the total revenue of a fight is 600 million. Pacquiao and Mayweather didn't get 300 million each.
No, I see your point.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. So when you take the 55 million and you take the money off the top that goes to the networks and the promoters and stuff, there's about roughly 30 million left.
Yeah, I still think it's a low number though. Just my opinion. Georgie,
I gotta talk to Robbie, guys. I'm sorry.
Quickly.
I don't mean to Rob or anything, but Robbie.
Yeah.
We gotta open the books, baby. Ringside Reporter gotta open the books, and we gotta see Eric's pay. He have to be publicized.
Oh my goodness!
Come on,
we're gonna
Eric.
go public. Yeah, right.
Listen, before I go, guys, what happened with the Skype? Can we get these UK people in here, man? What's going on?
We're working on it. Me and Beeb work for a living. We have a 40-hour-a-week job. Me and Beeb work for a living. We got things to do.
Listen, what would he say? Why it's going to take to get it done? Because I know Beef Enterprises is going downhill. We've seen the stock market. I mean,
$600 is what it's going to take to get it done. How about that?
Robbie the other day.
Let's throw a nice round number.
For Robbie.
Beeb, that sounds like a good number, doesn't it? 600? We'll split that 50-50. There you go.
There's another thing you guys are going to have to do, sadly, because human beings, the more you see them, the more you like your dogs. Listen, when you guys get this Skype, you're going to have to get another service because motherfuckers be tracking your IP address and they're probably going to fuck up your shit. So there is this. I contact B, let him know what he got to get so they don't flow his shit on the Skype.
Oh, there's always that.
But that being said, great show. Everybody out there, support, donate. I mean, not donate. Hit the time up. Support this channel because these people don't ask you for anything coming here. Corey already said it. It's hard to have a fucking channel when you know you work for a living. You got to take time out of your life, to dedicate it to the sport that we all love. And we definitely appreciate that from you. And anybody who listens to Corey's channel, if you can come here and subscribe, Corey can plug you guys up on his show. That will be beneficial for both parties.
There you go.
That being said, I don't have much to say. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to Igloo. Igloo, I see you in the chat, baby. You epic.
Oh, we love Igloo.
And I'm outie. See you guys next week.
Georgie, good call as always. Area code 760. 760, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Good evening, Brian. How are you?
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Sitting back, listening to you guys talk all that math and stuff. You guys, was you using your calculators or what?
I was. Beeb was doing it in his head. I got to use a calculator. I'm not that smart.
I'm like, dang, every time we talk about this fight, we got to talk about a popularity contest.
It's crazy. I just wish they'd sign it.
I'm like, man, this is okay. So has he been doing it like this before, or is this just something he's just doing with Wilder? Like,
just something he's doing with Wilder. It's just something he's doing with Wilder.
I have a feeling this is a one-off, Brian. I think this is just for Wilder. I think all the other negotiations are pretty straightforward,
I mean, it's nuts because I'm like, okay, I guess, but it's just got everybody doing what they're doing right now, getting their calculators out and like, hold on, I'm being lowball because at the end of the day, it's still their job, right? And it's like both of them need each other to get a promotion, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Wilder needs Joshua. And I mean, we gotta be honest. Joshua needs Wilder right now at this moment. He's the top heavyweight. It's the number 1 heavyweight and the number 2 heavyweight, you know. But I mean, so regardless of whoever he's gonna fight, that's the biggest fight in the heavyweight division. So I mean, all I see is that it's just like, I don't think they want to fight him. I mean, that's just what I see out of the situation. And if they're gonna fight him, they're gonna get paid big money for taking that big risk. But that's all. I mean, I like both of them guys. I like Joshua. I like Wilder. You know, but what can you do? You know, if fighters don't want to fight, you know.
Well, see, in a fight like this, if you don't work out the proper financial deal, fighters won't fight. That's the problem here.
I mean, they're talking like this contract is just like a ghost type of contract with the numbers. What is it, 12.5, and that's it. And that's it. You're just supposed to sign that. That's like, is that what you do at your job? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
Okay.
Well, what they did, Brian, is they took a page out of Mayweather's book. Remember when the whole Mayweather Pacquiao thing was going on? When Floyd offered Manny $40 million, he said, "Take it or leave it." You know.
Yeah. See, that's the whole thing. This culture just got to change in boxing with all this, because look what it's doing. I mean, it's good. We getting our calculators. We doing more math now. It's like we can have teachers teaching us this stuff in classes, you know, but it's boxing. You know what I'm saying? This is still boxing at the end of the day. So,
right.
You know, you got the 2 top guys. You know, the fans are definitely going to watch it. I mean, the only reason why they, you know, so many people tuned into Klitschko is because somebody had to watch this dude get taken out. Okay, you just put everybody to sleep in the heavyweight division watching you for years. You know, I was glad, and I sure didn't want Tyson Fury up here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wanted to see Joshua. That's why it's good to see him. But you know, it's a bigger fight because no matter what you say, Wilder still got the knockouts, which is interest. It's got people interested in seeing this fight more than that fight. You know, that's what I think. And it's a lot of money. You know, celebrities was going to them fights when he had the one at the Barclays Center. So, I mean, I see big potential in this fight. Just make it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just got to do it, man.
I hear you, man.
Make it.
I agree with you, but unfortunately, we got to deal with the dirty part of boxing first before the actual event takes place.
That little, I mean, 12 point, I mean, it's like, that's just the way it's saying, like, look, we know you're going to say no, so we can have an excuse to move on. And then they're probably going to move on. They're probably not going to do it, you know, but I'm like, fuck it. I guess, you know, both of them will be champions at the same time and never fight like the brothers that was at the top. That's another thing why they messed it up, you know. It's just going to go back to how it was, you know. But as far as all the other fights that's coming up, you know, Broner, I hope Broner do good, man. I'm just hoping this guy wins for his fans and for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we just want to see him win. You know, just better himself. It's like, just get down on it, man. Just win this fight for yourself, homie. I think he'll win. I ain't gonna put no money on it, you know, but I think he can pull this fight off because I think, you know, they kind of motivating him training with Gervonta Davis and whoever he got right now that's training him is gonna push him, you know, and they're gonna push him. Them, you know, it's kind of like young energy working with Gervonta Davis, giving him that extra push, you know. So I'm going for the dude, man. I just want to see people do good anyway. That's why I want to see Wilder get his shot, man. The dude, he deserves a shot still. You know, they deserve to fight each other. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That fight it ain't gonna happen, man. It's all this politics and, it's my power, my popularity, my percentage, everything that got nothing to do with who's the top dog. That's all you see. Keith Thurman. It's funny. I was listening to the podcast. You said Keith No Time Thurman.
Hey, I'm the one that put that out there. Keith No Time. He doesn't want to fight.
Man,
yep.
That was funny because he ain't coming out no time soon. Man, what you doing with the belt? I mean, I'm just, I just want to see these fights, man. It should be Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, Anthony Joshua, Wilder, Triple G against a real middleweight contender. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in Triple G's case, you can't blame him. He actually is training for the fight, and the other guy he was supposed to fight failed a drug test. What are you supposed?
You got to look at it like this, okay? This is where you can blame a man, okay? You waited on this dude because you want to fight him again for what? Because this other dudes is Charlo, BJ, Billy Joe Saunders. He's in there. Those are legit middleweights. You know what I'm saying? Those are legit middleweights. But see, it's this whole money thing. It's like, who you gonna make the most money fighting against?
Mm-hmm.
And Nello, even though Nello is not a legit middleweight, he never was. So let's fight a real legit middleweight fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering who he's gonna fight next. Because to be honest with you, he shouldn't even be waiting on Canelo. It's top contenders in that middleweight division.
He's got to fight somebody else now, but we honestly don't know who that's going to be.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But
okay,
Brian, right. We're going to get running here. We still got a couple of stories to do before we wrap it up.
Okay,
but
cool.
All right, man. And we still have one caller on the line. Good talking to you too, buddy. Thank you so much for calling in. And we still got one caller on the line, 347. Hang tight, and we're going to get right to you. Let's talk about this. Triple G's May 5th fight is in danger. Triple G has no opponent for May 5. The proposed fight has been moved to the StubHub Center in LA. Jamie Munguia was the leading candidate, but Las Vegas would not sanction that fight. The IBF apparently has also stated that he would be stripped if he fought Munguia. Spike O'Sullivan was the next on deck for the fight, but then he pulled out after pricing himself out. Sergey Derevchenko would like to fight, but I think money is the issue there. It seems like he's all out of tune-up opponents, man. I'd be willing to bet that this May 5th fight doesn't come up. I think it gets canceled. Robert, what say you?
No, and I think it sucks, man, because, here's a guy, no fault of his own. He was in training camp preparing for a fight. The other guy gets himself in hot water, and they can't find an opponent. Spike O'Sullivan is fighting the night before on the ESPN2 card. The other guy you mentioned, Munguia, they wouldn't approve, and justifiably so. He hasn't fought enough.
He's 24.
I don't know what they do. I don't think Tom and Triple G have much choice here. I think they're just going to have to move on and schedule another fight, like with Billy Joe or something, later on in the year. But this sucks for him. This does.
Beeb, let me get your input on this, because what are your thoughts here?
90 seconds.
What are your thoughts here with Triple G, his opponent on the 5th? Do you think that fight just closes up shop and it just gets canceled?
I think it's done. I think it's dead in the water.
Is it worth the nonsense of being stripped if you fight somebody and that kind of thing?
The thing is this: how successful of a promotion or how successful of an event can you put together on such short notice? And how can you pay somebody on such short notice? Where's the revenue going to come from? You're going to try to throw a fight together, and you're going to ask somebody to fight you on short notice. You're the middleweight champ of the world. Wouldn't they want a full camp? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you want to have enough time to put a good promotion together so you can generate enough revenue to pay that person? The risk. Make it worth the risk of them taking that fight with you. You know what I'm saying? So I was against this May 5th fight right from the beginning. As soon as the Canelo fight was canceled, I said he should just move off of it and just try to get a fight with Billy Joe Saunders later in the year. That's the fight I would have tried to make.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah.
And that could have been a pretty lucrative payday for him. If they were to promote that right and put that in the right spot. I don't see why that fight couldn't be a big. I don't see why if Triple G wouldn't go back over to the UK and fight Billy Joe Saunders in the UK. That would be a great fight.
Well, the thing is, too,
I know.
I mean, somebody in the chat said, what about Spike O'Sullivan? Spike O'Sullivan turned the fight down.
Yeah, because they cut his purse in half. They offered him a purse, and then they ended up cutting it in half.
Out.
But, no, they offered him he accepted the purse they originally offered him, but then they cut it in half, allegedly, so he says. And that goes back to my point. They probably couldn't generate the revenue that they needed to pay somebody. It's too short notice. You're gonna have to Mickey Mouse it. It's just a bad look all around. You prepared for one guy for such and such amount of weeks, and all of a sudden now you're just supposed to change up, your whole preparation mentally and physically and fight somebody else.
It's a tough sell, man.
It's a lose-lose situation no matter how you slice it. So I think they should have scrapped it right from the get-go. Or as soon as that Canelo fight was over, they should have just scrapped it. And they probably will. And they probably will scrap it. It's inevitable. It's inevitable at this point.
Canelo Alvarez underwent knee surgery for a cyst on his right knee this week. Canelo sent the information out via social media and is expected to make a full recovery. And Jamar Charlo versus Austin Trout is set for June 9th on the undercard of Santa Cruz Morris. And Manny Pacquiao dumps Freddie Roach after 15 years. We all kind of suspected this. Manny Pacquiao dumps trainer Freddie Roach after 15 years this week. The announcement came via press release, which is how Roach found out also. Roach said he was hurt by the press release. He said that he would have had, rather have Manny personally tell him, hey, you're fired. But they had a good run, and he has nothing but respect for Pacquiao. This is a real lousy move by Pacquiao. Boo Boy Fernandez.
Yeah, no, this sucks.
Pac's chief second, Boo Boy Fernandez, will now be his new trainer. I don't understand, like, boxers. De La Hoya was like this too, where he always had other people kind of do his bidding when it came to the insider stuff, where he wouldn't tell trainers, he would just get a new one, and that's that. What is it? I mean, it's almost like they don't like confrontation, but yet they're fighters. I mean, you at least owe the guy that much, and I think it was probably more of a money thing than anything else. I mean, why would he not, take Freddie Roach? I don't know, so
yeah.
Just a lousy.
Well, another thing I want to cover, what do you think about Austin Trout getting back-to-back title shots when he lost against Hurd?
No, he's a stepping stone. Yeah, he's a stepping stone. That's all it is. I mean, that's the long and short of it. He's a stepping stone. There's no, wow. Okay. Beeb is just texting me here. Beeb, who is this through? Is this? I mean, this is an actual Manny Pacquiao interview.
This was someone got a post from I think it's Instagram or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is Instagram, and it says, let me go back and look.
It's by Villainify Media, and he does a lot of good stuff. I mean, he does a lot of like celebrity,
And it says, contrary to statements which I personally did not make that are circulating in the media, I have not made my final decision who will be my head trainer for my July 14th fight with Matisse. My advisor, Michael Kantz, has been in contact with Freddie's people to keep them informed. I will make a final decision within the week. When that decision is made, Freddie will be the first one to be informed, and then I will advise the media. So I don't know. I mean, it's
like some saving face here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he's trying
what it sounds like to me is he's trying to kind of put Freddie down gently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah,
and I'll say, I know we're cutting close to time. I'll just say a couple of things about Freddie Roach that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And this is what I think happened in the Manny Pacquiao situation. Freddie Roach has a bad habit of airing out dirty laundry that's going on in the camp to the media that I think he should keep to himself. Case in point, when Bernard Hopkins fought Joe Calzaghe, he lost a split decision, arguably could have gotten the decision in that fight. A lot of people thought he won. I didn't think he won the fight, but still put up a good effort. Freddie Roach is saying, oh, he looked old. He he should retire. He, you know, he looked like he was out of gas. Looked like he was trying to buy for time.
Yeah.
As if blah blah blah. That's things you go in the locker room. You talk to Bernard Hopkins about. You don't put someone else's dirty laundry out there. So many times he would come out and say things, and Manny Pacquiao, you know, would say, "Oh, I didn't say that." Bob Arum would say, "Oh, I didn't say that." You know what I mean? And that camp was always in disarray, and he always got involved. Like he always had issues with Michael Kontz. He had issues with Arum at times. You know, he had issues with Alex Ariza. You know what I'm saying? You know, he came out and said, "Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's going to drop down to 140." And then I interviewed Bob Arum. Oh, we never said he was going to drop down to 140. So this is the thing. Like I think Pacquiao was unhappy with Roach because Roach made a lot of disparaging statements about Pacquiao, discrediting him and, you know, being very critical of him in the Jeff Warren fight. You know, and Jeff Warren and Manny Pacquiao wasn't happy that Freddie didn't speak up for him when Jeff Warren was, you know, what he thought was following him and stuff like that. So, you know, Freddie kind of sometimes brings this onto himself because he's a very outspoken person, and maybe he says things he shouldn't. Maybe some things he should just keep to himself. I've never been a huge fan of Freddie Roach, but you know, I respect him for what he's done in the sport. But I've just never been a huge fan of Freddie Roach.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been with the guy for 15 years. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah, definitely had a relationship with him, so they should kind of do this in a classy way. No question about it.
Exactly. All right, last phone call of the night. Area code 347 coming out of New York. 347. You're live.
Yeah, what's up, Eric? What's up, B? What's up, Robbie?
What's up?
What's happening, man?
This is Nick.
Nick, how are you?
How you doing, brother?
Good. Eric, remember I told you Canelo was juicing? I was the first one who told you that.
I believe you probably were, yeah.
Yeah, I was the first one who said he was juicing, but you said, no, the guy's working at 4 hours a day.
I remember that. You know what? I remember that.
I don't know how much you know.
You knew, yeah.
About people who went to juicing. I don't know how much you know, but anyway, I'm going to say something about Triple G. Triple G, he's not going to be a champion for too long. Maybe he can beat Sanders, maybe not. He can't beat Charlo, and if he gets a rematch with Jacob, he can lose.
Yeah.
He makes himself a fool to run behind Canelo, and he wastes his whole time. He has to cut his losses. Beeb, I agree with you that when you're talking about the split with Wilder and Joshua, but what I think Deontay should do is call Joshua bluff and take the money.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Get more money, but call his bluff because he's saying it's two things. Either Joshua's scared to take the test or he's scared to fight him. So you should either take the money and call his bluff. I see if he's going to take the fight.
Because if he fights Povetkin, that's not a walk in the park. What if Povetkin beats him? You know, I would still favor.
Povetkin beats any one of these guys, man. Povetkin not going to win.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know. Povetkin's tough, man.
I think Alexander Povetkin I think Alexander Povetkin has seen his best days. I don't think he can compete with either one of these guys.
But think about it. Look at the problems he had with Carlos Takam.
Joshua and Wilder, regardless of Wilder, people say he fought to make the can. The heavyweight is not a division where you can move up and down. You only could fight who they have in the heavyweight. Nobody wants to fight Wilder. I saw an interview with Povetkin after his fight. He said he prefers to fight Joshua. He don't want nothing to do with Wilder. He doesn't want anything to do with him. Everybody thinks Joshua is the easier target. They don't want anything to do with Wilder. But I think Wilder should call his bluff. Take the money and go fight him. If you beat him, then whatever is the case, because he's not. You guys comparing Pacquiao. Pacquiao was a pay-per-view star when he was offering the $40 million. He was already a pay-per-view star. Wilder's not a pay-per-view star. He's not.
Not even
Joshua
close.
doesn't need Wilder. Joshua doesn't need Wilder. He's selling out arenas 80,000 and plus. Why he need Wilder for? It's only the belt. If you take away the belt, he doesn't need that. Nothing for fight Deontay. Look at it. It's only the belt.
Well, that's why I said earlier, Wilder doesn't offer Joshua anything except the belt. Wilder didn't bring anything to the table. Wilder can't draw like Joshua can.
So I totally agree.
Because but let's face it, here in the U.S., we don't use big stadiums for fights. I mean, very rarely we do. So even Wilder really didn't have a chance to even draw a big crowd because we always use the basketball and hockey arenas and stuff like that. Joshua, they use soccer stadiums for all of their fights.
I agree. I think Wilder should. I don't blame him to negotiate because he's not wearing those fighter shoes. It's like Eddie Hearn said, Wilder has too much of managers or promoter, whatever he has. He has Shelly Finkel, he has whatever this guy named, plus he has Al Heyman. Too much of people he has to pay. Who should he negotiate with? So you can call Joshua bluff if you think Joshua's scared of him, or take the money, or try to get a little back end on the pay-per-view, or whatever's the case. Call his bluff and take the money. Let's see if he's going to take a fight. I would pay if they charge pay-per-view here. I would pay to see the fight because I want to see the fight. I would pay to see the fight. Just call his bluff, take the fight, and see if he's going to take it.
That's interesting. I would love to see it.
What do you think about that, Beeb?
I think that would be awesome.
That's what I've been saying. I mean, he doesn't take this fight. Joshua could lose. I mean, he didn't look great in his last fight. I mean, he looked okay. He looked good. I mean, he won. I had it, 8-4 in rounds. I thought he won 116 and 112. He didn't look great against Takam. I'm telling you, Povetkin is no cupcake. Povetkin can still punch. He can fight really good on the inside. What if Joshua loses? And then Deontay Wilder, he goes and fights a Dominic Brazil, right? He's only gonna make like $1 million for that fight. It's like Joshua's got fights lined up for himself if Wilder doesn't fight him. He fights Povetkin.
Making how many more times the money? Joshua's making like 10 times more the money or something? I mean, than Deontay's making? Like, he make 10 times more the money than Deontay?
Well, yeah, now he is, yeah.
Every time he fights, he sells out a big stadium. Yeah. And he's got the UK view and all kinds of other stuff.
Hey, he made 9 times more than Deontay Wilder made in his last fight, yeah. He made $18 million. Deontay Wilder made $2.1 million.
Yeah.
And that was Deontay Wilder's best opponent.
Eric.
Yes.
Quick question. Do you think Triple G lasts long in keeping the belt?
No, I don't.
I don't think he can last this year more. I don't think he can last. It's all about the money, just like what the previous caller says. It's all about the money.
Well,
it's nothing.
What I don't like about the whole situation is the inactivity. And he is 36 years old. You got to keep a fighter like him busy.
And he hasn't looked good.
Charlie's going to knock him out, man.
Yeah, he hasn't looked good in a couple of fights. I mean, not like we're used to.
This guy, his style doesn't last long. Those kind of style in boxing doesn't last long.
And let's face it, Danny Jacobs deserves a rematch. I mean, everybody's forgetting about Danny Jacobs, but he earned a rematch in his performance in that fight. I mean, if you can't fight Canelo and you can't work out a deal with Saunders, you got to give Danny Jacobs a rematch.
Correct. And Johnny Jacobs, if he wins this fight, he may become the mandatory to, I think, the WBA or something, or the WBO.
One of those.
Yeah, he's gonna be somebody's mandatory. No question.
I don't think he beats Saunders. I'll tell you that. Yeah. I don't think he beats Saunders.
Who, Triple G?
Yeah, I don't think Triple G beats Saunders.
It's just about the money he needs from Canelo, and he's probably gonna retire. That the run where he had Triple G, it was a good run, but now they used to say he was the boogeyman. But now guys are stepping up to fight him, and he doesn't want to fight. Now I agree because I don't think he should have taken Jacob's fight, or let's say Charlo was saying, oh, he willing to take the fight and postpone his fight. I don't agree he should have taken the fight because I'm betting the guys who he's been sparring with are shorter guys. He hasn't been sparring with taller guys like Charlo to prepare for them. So it's not fair for him to just to run and go fight these guys then. You got to be sparring with taller guys who have longer range to go fight them.
Yep. No. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're fighting taller guys, 6'1", you got to spar with guys with this height. You can't be sparring with shorter guys. Okay?
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. But I honestly think since the Canelo fight is out of the picture and they can't find anybody to fight him, I think he needs to concentrate on two people right now. I think he needs to concentrate on rematching with Danny Jacobs or working out a deal with Billy Joe Saunders. Those are the only two directions he should go.
Both of those fights he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Well,
I would favor,
he's going to have to fight both of them.
Finished.
Yeah.
It's like a storm is blowing towards Triple G, and can he withhold that storm and battle it? I don't think he can do it.
Well, whether he can do it or not, Nick, he can't hold up the titles. He's got to give these guys shots.
Well, he's not really holding up the title, though.
That's my point.
He's not. I mean, he's not holding up the title. He signed a fight. He's signing to fight.
Eric. What I'm saying is, he needs to find somebody to fight, and those are the only two people I think he should consider since he can't fight Canelo.
How's he going to do it at this late in the stage, though? How's he going to do it on May 5th?
No. That's the May 5th thing is gone. It's done. So he needs to concentrate on those two guys for a later date.
I don't understand why he can't fight.
And also show you how big a star is Canelo, because since Canelo came out of the picture, he can't even have the fight in the same arena. They had to take him out and move him to a smaller one, just to show how big star Canelo is.
Well, and we don't know what's going to happen with Canelo because the hearing is this week.
Yeah, he's done. He's done until September.
The hearing is this week.
He's getting a year suspension.
Yeah, he's.
But anyway, guys, just to let you know, Eric, I was the one who told you Canelo was juice, and you think it was a joke. All right? Nobody with that height that Canelo has can just lift weights and do strength training and run through like that and keep that muscle mass. He doesn't have that freaky genes like that. He does not have it. You look at most Mexican fighters that don't have that. The more you can find to keep it real with you is black fighters, because their genes are different. When they exercise and they do come up with different, but not Canelo. And when you look how his traps and everything were bulking, I know he had to be juicing. Many fighters are juicing, but I'll tell you something. Marion Jones, she was a former Olympic runner.
Yeah.
When she got caught the first time, her sample came out dirty, and every other sample came out clean. They kept asking her if she took it. She kept denying it. After years, then she confessed to it. Nobody would have believed. If you ask them about Armstrong, I would tell them Armstrong was doping, they would not believe you. They would believe that he was clean. He was willing to sue everybody who said that about him. Then years after, look what he come out and admitted, that he was doping. A lot of fighters is juicing, but it doesn't mean because they're having their cartier, that doesn't mean they're juicing. Canelo, I knew he was juicing. When I look at him, I saw when he fought Chavez and everything, the way how he was ripped up, there's no way he can keep that and move up that weight and stay that ripped. And he does not using something to maintain that muscle. There's no way that was happening. He doesn't have freaky genes. Canelo doesn't have that. You can't exercise and keep moving up in weight. I myself exercise and I does do stuff. I do. I have people who I have connects with. There's no way he can do that.
You were the first one. You were the first.
He
was
was
very
dirty
first
for
one.
a long time.
Yeah, he was the very first one.
He was dirty for a long time.
Yeah.
But the people will be dirty, but if they keep, however, they keep evading the coming out clean the test, whatever, because steroid is something, and you guys all knew that it's something you go on cycle and you come off. When you're off the cycle, you even perform better than when you're on it. When you come off for it, you perform better than when you're on it. So whenever you're off the juice, you perform better.
Do that. All right, Nick. We appreciate it, man. And for the record,
right,
he definitely is. He's the first guy. You too, man. He's the first guy.
Yeah, I remember that when he called in.
Yeah,
and
we had the
said that.
pictures. And
at the
he was
time,
like,
none of
Canelo's
us
juicing.
believed
I'm
him.
like, there's no way he's juicing. He's working out X amount of hour. There's no way. And you know what? Looks like he was juicing. I don't know. Oh no. Looks like it looks bad for him. But
good.
Yeah, you know what we say, man.
We don't fuck around in Mexico.
There it is.
And that's right.
I'm dying to see. I wish I was a fly on the wall for that hearing.
Oh, I know. How about that?
God, what are they going to say?
I wish we had a way to hook up live to that hearing on Wednesday. I definitely want to hear that.
Exactly.
You could probably do it, Robbie.
That's right. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter.
Rihanna.
You can catch
She wanted
us.
to say something. She wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
Maybe
Bring her in.
finished.
Yeah.
Go on, go ahead. Say it before the show ends, like you wanted to say. Hurry up. I don't want to listen to her cry the rest of the night. She doesn't say it. Go ahead. Say what you wanted to say. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is she not?
Joe's been working on his man.
All right. Thank you.
What did she
He's
say?
fired from the choo-choo.
Say it again. Say it loud.
Joe's been working on his manners.
Okay. What else did you want to say about the choo-choo?
Oh, he is. All right.
Huh?
Joe's fired from the choo-choo.
Okay. Thank you.
Joe is fired from the choo-choo. He is 100% fired.
All right.
There you go.
Let's
There
make
you
it
go.
official.
All right.
Joe Habib, you are fired.
So we had our version.
train wreck
We
of the
had
week.
our version of The Apprentice. There you go.
Yeah.
Joe?
Okay.
You're fired.
Good job.
Never do this again. Completely, utterly fired. That'll do
All
it
right.
for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert. Call him on Ringside Robbie's Corner at 917-259-1810. Leave him a message. You can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find his YouTube channel at beatingtheoddswithbeeb.com. I'm at Ringside 73, and we will see you next week.
All right.